The following is a conversation with Cole Ryan. He's a self-taught musician and producer that releases under the name CPR. We have an amazing conversation, and we talk about everything from his work developing Treehouse Studios and his personal brand to his life and what it was like growing up. There's some really interesting highlights in here where we talk about his surgery and what that was like in the recovery and that experience. We talk about mindset and really the future of where he's going, where life's going, and everything in between. It was an amazing conversation. I was so grateful to sit down with him and my brother, and we hope you like it. Again, this episode is brought to you by Sally Sue's. That is our coffee of the day. Should be a great episode, and take a listen. Bye. Hello, and welcome to episode 9 of A Humanistic Perspective. It's going to be an amazing episode. Today I'm joined with
Ethan Castillo.
And our amazing guest today, Cole Ryan. Do you want to go ahead and give yourself a little introduction here? Say hi to the people.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I go by CPR, I guess, recently in the music world, but I produce music, mix, master, audio engineering. Yeah, that's it. You know, I've been trying to come out with new music, and yeah.
Yeah, we've just been having a good time kicking it back, listening to some of his unreleased works, and we're super excited to have a great episode for you, and we're going to get right into it here. Today, for our beverages, we're actually running it back with the Sally Sue's Colombian Dark Roast because I think we didn't brew it right the first time.
Okay, these are two different coffees, and I had this thing like one night ago.
Literally 2 days ago.
It was Wednesday I had it.
I feel out of place that I don't like coffee.
No. We love. All right, yeah. Share what you're sipping on this afternoon.
I don't even know what it is. You made it for me.
Yeah, we got a green tea, I believe, is what you're sipping on. He's sipping on an organic green tea.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
I don't like coffee. Everyone in my family drinks coffee.
But you're the tea guy?
It's like a lot of coffee going through my house all the time. And
Damn.
I haven't given in. I don't know. I don't think it tastes horrible. I just, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I really want to
It's
get
not
on
for
like
me.
some natural products like that, like those green, they have these like dirt water, like that are supposed to be really actually good for you and these
Oh, I've
nutrients.
seen
My
these,
girlfriend, she drank, what was it? It was like one of those like mushroom powder or something.
I don't know if
How
I could
was
do
that?
I tried it. It was pretty good. It was like a
Really?
coffee alternative, like I don't know.
Energy boost?
Yeah,
Like,
it was like
it had
It definitely-
alternative caffeine.
yeah. I don't
Cool.
remember what it was called, but I know that it was just like basically a bunch of mushrooms and stuff like that. But it was I was drinking it for a little while. It was pretty expensive though, so she stopped buying it.
That's cool.
But so yeah, I don't know.
I like that.
I like alternatives rather
Yeah.
than.
Would you?
No,
Would
I
you?
would-
I
I just
think
like
we grew up in
exploring
an
that.
age where like trying stuff is like kind of expected. Like I feel like our parents or even their parents were a lot more reserved. They're like, oh, if it wasn't at my market in town, I probably wouldn't do it.
Right.
But we're like, I see this on the internet. I think I'm gonna try that out.
There's a lot of that. I think a lot of that. I'm a pretty adventurous eater, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's like the most adventurous thing you've eaten?
I think I would try almost anything.
Okay.
Almost anything. Even if you didn't tell me what it is, I would try it. And if I liked it and you told me
Would
what
you
it
have to
is.
at least know the name before? Or, like, would you
I
just
don't
eat
know.
it if
I don't
you
know.
saw it?
I don't know. I really don't know. I've eaten like nothing too exotic, like shark I've had and
Oh, that sounds
alligator, frog legs, like weird stuff like that, but that's not like.
Just gamier critters.
Was your family like really into food when you were younger?
Yeah,
and,
my
like,
dad cooks a lot. So does my mom. I guess everyone in my family cooks a lot. Yeah, I cook. My sister cooks, and
Nice.
I worked in a kitchen, cooking for like a couple years.
No kidding.
After I was delivering pizza, like I ended up cooking at the bar that had made the pizzas, and I learned how to actually cook
Yeah.
per se. And
I guess I don't ever have the patience for cooking is my main thing.
yeah, I had that
know.
conversation with my girlfriend last night. We were just talking about people who don't. Some people just don't like food. Some
Yeah.
people like
Yeah,
don't
they
care.
think of it as like a system almost. Like they
yeah.
just
I
have
feel
to
like
do
that's
it.
something that's like an interruption in my day, to be honest. Like when I have to eat, it's like really.
I feel
like,
that.
hungry.
I feel that. I struggle with even eating 3 meals a day.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes like I don't even eat 3 meals because I'm like feel too lazy to eat.
Yeah, I'm 2 meals and a coffee.
See, and the thing is, I've been realizing that I've been really only wanting to eat, but I also eat really, really poorly. You know, it's like I think if I start getting on a healthy rhythm of eating,
It's worth it. You feel
then
better
I could
overall.
probably get 3 meals in. It's like I really need
Sure.
to transition that, but right now I'm really only doing like 2 meals a day, if that. But I haven't eaten anything today or drank anything. So
So
I've drank it. That's a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I really wanted to get in and just start with maybe a little bit of your backstory. You're a musician. I really love all your works. Where does that come from? Where is that stemming from? Was music
Like-
something you always had in
like-
the house growing up?
Uh,
And when did you know you wanted to go down that path?
it's interesting, honestly. I have been surrounded really by it pretty much everywhere my whole life. Like my mom and my dad are both just huge fans of music. My dad plays the guitar. My both of my uncles play the guitar. They're in bands.
Yeah.
They're involved.
Did you watch that growing up too?
Yeah, it was always at family parties. My uncles were playing. And there's always music playing. My parents were taking me to concerts for literally as long as I can remember. Like
Wow.
I've been going to concerts since I was like 10 years old.
Wow.
Like
What was the first concert?
I couldn't even tell you. I could not even tell you.
I think I've literally been to 2 concerts.
I've been to
real.
I've been to more concerts like
Well,
than some
all right, then what
adults.
was your first memorable concert? Like the first one you're like, all right, this was my fucking...
I don't. It's like hard for me to tell you. Like I vaguely remember we went to Summerfest in Milwaukee to see this band Black Tide.
Okay.
That was like a heavier band. I was so small, and like me, my dad.
Were you moshing?
No. It's like we we always listen to music, but we went to Milwaukee to see them specifically, and they
Yeah.
didn't show up.
What
The
hell?
band did not
gosh.
show up, and then like some other like Five Finger Death Punch or something came out, and it was kind of disappointing. But I was so young, and like
Even
like
just
there,
then.
there's that blues fest that they do in downtown Aurora,
Yeah.
and my dad took me to that every year. We saw
I fucking love blues
Los
music.
Lobos one year.
Oh, they're freaking great.
Kenny Wayne Shepherd we saw once. I think Buddy Guy played there once. We went to this.
Oh, sorry
No,
about
that's
that.
good. We went to this festival. These are all like the earliest concert memories I have. Also,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
have to be like
No, I love hearing this.
I have to be. This is all before 13, 14. Like
Sure.
like we went and saw this band Nick Moss and the Flip Tops at
What kind of music were they?
that was like it's a lot of his blues. My dad listens to a lot of blues, like classic rock, like reggae,
Oh, I fucking love
jam
reggae.
jam bands, and then my mom she listens to like everything else. It's weird. So it was like a kind of a melting pot of all genres, but. Yeah, I don't know. Then like I saw some of the more substantial concerts that I've ever been to was like my dad took me to see the Allman Brothers Band, which is like one of the more influential bands that like for me, I guess, when I don't even remember how old. It was at the Chicago Theater though,
Okay.
and it was like there's like 30-minute drum solos, like
Holy shit.
like just like like the songs are 16, 17 minutes long, like just it was insane, and it really opened my mind like at a very young age musically of like, and it made me a fan though, most importantly, like. So I became a fan really early on of like
First.
of all types of music, and then just going to all the concerts, like so many concerts. I went to Lollapalooza, like when I got old enough to go to concerts by myself, like so many.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a concert now in almost a year. 'Cause of
Sure.
the COVID stuff.
Everyone can't
Yeah,
right now. It's
so
crazy.
Sad, so sad. But yeah. So my parents both listened to a lot of music. They took me to a lot of concerts.
So did you start taking lessons formally at any point
Never.
during this time? or-
It was like
when did you pick up an instrument?
I played I played the trumpet in band,
Hell
so
yeah.
so when did they introduce you to band around here for us? It was like 5th or 6th grade, and then I think it was 6th grade. I was in band 6th and 7th grade, and then
Nice.
8th grade I quit band
Smart.
because of whatever, because I was doing other stuff, sports and riding my
just got
bike.
busy.
Yeah. But so then I quit band, and I learned very little there. I learned how to read music, kind of,
Sure.
barely.
It just wasn't like the classical regime. Just was not it.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't there for me. I was focused on other things. Like I said, it was interesting. Like I was originally going to like when I was in high school, like I was studying like engineering, like math and science. Like
Is that what you wanted to do?
Yeah, like I didn't really do like anything artsy, like my sisters did. Like I was a huge fan of music, like like mega fan, like
Yeah.
mega fan of music. Like I had a vinyl collection. Like obviously I still do. Like
So you were listening to a lot of old
listening, like I was like, yeah, I can definitely say
music. You
the
were
first
just freaking
s-
consuming.
the-
You were
the-
educating
yeah,
yourself, really.
yes, exactly. The first 16 years of my life, probably 15, 16 years, like I was really listening, like really listening. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And now it's like definitely become like a like a memory bank of like things that like I can pull from musically for myself,
That's it.
But like so I didn't really start. I picked up the guitar because my dad plays, and there's guitars like hanging up on the wall in my house, like there always has been, like always is music playing, like on in the mornings, like I wake up to music playing, like so I picked it up and I learned like the minor pentatonic blues scale. I was like probably 14,
Mhm.
13, maybe. And that was it, like I just didn't have the motivation to play, like,
Yeah, that
like
put the hours in.
yeah, yeah, like I don't know, like it was weird because it was all so available to me,
Mhm.
so I was like, I don't know, I never really had the motivation to play.
That was one of the biggest transitions I think I saw from like when we would catch up after
Yeah.
college and stuff.
Yeah.
Was I saw like this gear switch in your head to where like I could tell you were just always practicing or producing.
Yes,
Like, that is
basically.
it.
Still, I mean, that's all I do, really.
That's fantastic.
And it's been that way now for almost 6 years, So, but like, when we were in high school, it was like towards, I started the treehouse thing.
Yeah, what year was that specifically?
So I guess this is really truly the beginning of all of it. Really, it was like
Okay.
me and Zach Mazook, obviously,
Yep,
like
shout out Zach.
my partner with the treehouse studio stuff. I wasn't really playing. Like I was focused on other things. Like I told you before, I read BMX, and I did a lot of other cool things, like some traveling, and wasn't really focused on
I would love to talk about that too. That'd
on
be
even
cool.
school. I mean, we can go there if you want.
Yeah.
first.
What's up? What's going on with
So
this traveling?
I-
Where did
I-
you go?
So like,
Also, too, like I've seen like, is your dad super fit? Like, didn't you go mountain biking with him or something?
yeah.
recently?
So like the biking, like I guess we could keep going from where I was at.
Yeah,
I guess we were at
stories.
like what 13, 14.
Yeah.
I started to focus more on listening, like I said, and then I started riding BMX bikes. Like I used to skateboard when I was a kid, and like I was always into like skate culture, surf culture, like just
Just
no-
outdoor,
like,
the street
art-
activities.
yeah, being
No,
outside.
I was like that same way, but in video games. Like I had to have the Tony
Right,
Hawk games.
yes,
I had to have
yes,
the snowboarder
yes,
games. I had
yes.
to have that. Shit.
I just felt like I needed to be outside. Like
That's so
like
cool.
I just wanted to spend my time outside. Like
Yeah.
I
all-
feel like you were
like,
outside a lot,
always,
too, right?
always.
I did that too. We built in when I lived back in Sunflower. We built a dirt BMX bike.
Yeah,
park.
exactly. Stuff like that, like
Yes.
just building stuff with my friends, or like digging holes, or like whatever, blah blah blah. So then we started riding bikes, and we'd ride up to McDonald's, or it was a way for me to get around.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, I couldn't,
nice living
could-
over there. We could literally
yeah,
just drive. Yeah,
couldn't drive yet,
Yeah,
but I
so
had a
fuck it.
bike, and then
Yeah,
and then I was
Subway
like,
came in. I used to go over there
I
all the time.
yeah,
walking
yes,
by.
exactly. And then it got to the point where I was riding my bike everywhere. Like it did not matter. Like I would ride my bike.
That's just how you stayed fit.
I would ride my bike from that side of town all the way to like I rode to the Y in Plano.
if you had
once.
if you had a smartwatch, it'd be
my.
fucking insane.
Yeah, like I would ride at like Menards. Like it didn't even matter. Like it didn't matter at all. Like anywhere, anyone would call me, like my friends.
Like, would you ride all the way from your house to Zach's on a bike?
Yes, Zach would all the time. And then I got
Oh my
eventually
God.
I got a dirt bike. And I would ride my
For
dirt
those of
bike
you that
there.
are listening that aren't from the area, that's like minimum probably a 6-mile bike ride.
Yeah.
Plus.
Yeah, but it was what I did though. Like I said, I rode bikes with my friends, and then I ended up getting a sponsorship from this bike shop, Mudslingers Bike Shop in Plano. Shout out
Nice.
Mudslingers Bike Shop.
Yeah.
But and then that was really my group. Like I
Did
saw,
you think that was your route at that point? Like when
Yes.
you got that sponsorship, where you're like, my life is
I
changed?
really was into the BMX, and it wasn't like it's not like a crazy
No, like it was like a very
sponsorship.
focal
Right.
point.
Yeah,
phase,
but it was like I got my bike. They worked on my bike. My friend Tony, he works on my bike, for free. Like, I haven't. It's been nice. Like he'll hook me
That's
up on stuff
sick.
like when I need it, and help me out where I can.
Hey.
And
I am totally sorry for interrupting. I'm just gonna actually head out now so I can run to the bank and come back so I can stay longer.
Yeah,
for the podcast. 'Cause
totally cool.
I just gotta run up and sign.
No,
Do
like
it.
that's the thing is like this thing is so flexible.
Yes.
We fucking love this show.
that's
so
good. That's good.
let's no, we're locked in. I'm enjoying this. Let's keep
I
going.
will be back. I will.
Oh yeah, you'll definitely probably be back. We're just getting started. So
What was I saying?
all right, you were talking about the bike shop. So your buddy is Tommy.
Tony
works on your bike.
Tony at Mudslingers. But yeah, like me and my friend Blake and Jackson.
So is there like competitions? What does that?
Yeah,
world
so that was
look
what
like?
the traveling. That's what the traveling was like. I played football for a little bit. Whatever, I quit football because I was riding BMX. It was taking up more time. I was spending more time at the bike shop, and then me and Blake, we got put on the team, and then we started traveling around, like, and competing in contests.
What's the furthest you went for that?
We would go to like Florida. I mean, we've gone everywhere except for California. We never really go West Coast. We would go, there was
Texas.
There was some
Would you
in,
go that far?
I've never been to Texas. A few, some of the other dudes did. We went to Florida, East Coast. We went to Virginia. We went to, we went to Kansas once, Nebraska. It's not really much out there though.
Yeah.
But
And are you competing for money or?
yeah, it was like small prize packs or whatever. Like I wasn't riding like
That's
pro.
cool.
I wasn't riding pro contests.
Sure.
I wasn't.
And what do you
like-
compete in? Like what are the activities?
It was just like it was like you're judged on like you see on
So,
X
like,
Games.
freestyle?
Yeah, freestyle. Like it was like at a skate park or a ramp or dirt jumps or things like that.
What was your
and
favorite type of?
Probably street riding.
competition style?
Really, like I honestly didn't really like competing that much.
Sure.
Like
You like tearing it up in different
just like-
obstacle areas.
yeah, I just like riding street like with my friends. Like and like I didn't really care much for the competing, but I did like the photography stuff a lot, and I was like filming a lot of my friends and taking
Sick.
taking pictures of everyone.
creating content.
Yeah, and that was like a lot of fun for me. So at a certain point, like I almost wanted to go that route. Like I wasn't spending a lot of time caring about school much anymore because we were traveling,
Yeah.
and like
Sorry, that's
That's
Bear
okay.
Bear.
It's okay.
I'm sure it's a mailman.
if we can wait. I don't even remember what I was talking about, dude.
Well, I wanted to hear more. I guess I want to hear more about the different experiences you've had.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Like, where'd you go? Like, during your travels?
Went to, it was interesting. We went to this contest in the swamp once in Florida, and we were all camping, and it was all kind of grimy and gross, but it was so much fun. Like a lot of weird memories like that. Like we went to Virginia, and like everyone's packed up in the van, and like I learned a lot. Like I never had any money. Like I was in high school.
So
like,
you probably learned a lot of like adversity and
Yeah,
social skills
yeah,
too.
yeah. I mean, it was just nice to like kind of like almost like live like a road life almost like every
Yeah.
so often. Like I was going on trips pretty frequently, like pretty frequently. Like at a certain point, my mom even said a few times she would say I was going on college visits. I wasn't. I was just going on trips.
I love that.
Yeah.
Ethan
but,
had to do that too.
Yeah, but I was having a lot of fun and learning a lot. Like learning a lot, just about the world really outside of kind of the small town that we live in and
Yeah.
some of the small
You're
town.
getting cultured. Would you
Yeah,
say?
some of the small town like mentalities, like I just like I don't know, like I
What was one of the biggest lessons do you think you learned from that period of life?
honestly, like that's a good question, really. I don't like. It just taught me
So
to be.
it's
It just
something
taught. It just taught me to be myself. Like it was very. I was different. Like you went to high school with me. Like I was a different kid. Like
Sure.
wasn't like wasn't necessarily like
But you felt comfortable.
an
as
outsider.
yourself.
I was just comfortable in my own skin. Whatever. Like I dressed a little different. Looked a little different. But going out and seeing the world and hanging out with my friends at the bike shop, people there, my friends are covered in tattoos and, we don't really care, they're
Yeah.
really
You gained a sense of appreciation for anyone.
for all people, like, and just like, I don't know, like being yourself, like having fun, like letting loose also, like in a sensible way, like,
Sure.
like,
Cherishing life.
yeah, you don't always have to follow the rules. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I mean that. Like like I not that all rules are made to be broken, but like
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like you have to live. You have to live a little.
Live a little bit on the edge.
Yeah. Just like living, you know, like it taught me to enjoy my life, you
That's
know,
awesome.
and like and what I'm doing and the journey, you know, all that stuff. Really, like enjoy the process of
That's
it.
crazy that you say that, because I was listening to a Kid Cudi interview today,
Yeah.
and they were talking exactly about that. Like, it took him forever, like pretty much until he was 45, to realize that life's about living the journey, not necessarily where he was supposed to be going.
Wow. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I feel like I'm at least gaining that perspective, you know, because
It's beautiful.
but I don't feel
That's gonna help you in your artistry too.
I don't. It's weird how it all worked out. I think it worked out the way that it is working out, and I think it's the way that it's going to work out. Almost. I know
I love
you know
that.
what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
You
Just
know
like
what I mean. Like
everything sort of will happen for a reason, and
like
the bricks will lay as they come.
Yeah, like
You're like water. You're just flowing.
if I would have done anything that I have done thus far in my career or whatever you call it at any different at a different time in my life, I wouldn't.
You would never go back and change it.
I wouldn't. No way.
Hell yeah.
Not a single
I fucking
thing.
love that.
Not a single thing. Like you know, like.
You're passionate to your convictions.
Yeah. Like I don't know. Like I don't try to make excuses. Like,
Can we go back to Treehouse when you were starting that? What sparked it? What was the first
it
move?
was me, Zach. Like Zach is my best friend. You know, he's like he's been my partner in crime pretty much like from the beginning of time, like for as long as I can remember. Like you know, and he was we were always on the same page. You know, like. And first and foremost, like fans of music, like we loved music. We talked about music, talked about, you know, just everything. You know, we were interested in the process at a certain point. And his older brother started like rapping, you know, like, and he makes beats. He still makes beats. He makes super awesome beats, and it was super. It was like just inspiring. And like I said, we were all surrounded by music and fans, and then like. I was just it was when I was delivering pizzas. I was just working. I was just at work one day, and he was on vacation with his family in California, and we were just like sending like Shade 45 freestyles back and forth because we just loved watching the freestyles, like texting or whatever. And then I just remember like texting him like, why don't we just do this? Like, why can't we just kind of do this? Like create like a. Like, I don't even know if we necessarily even called it a studio then. We were just like, why can't we just like create I think we just said a platform.
I love that word you used.
Yeah.
The adjective you gave it.
Yeah. Like I think back then we even just said platform. Like we didn't even know. Like we were like kind of just like,
sure.
We like music. Our friends like music, you know, like.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not sure if we're a media company. I'm not sure if we're
No,
a brand.
I didn't
I'm not
know.
sure if we're anything.
And I wasn't even. I didn't.
Are we a collective?
A collective. You know, I didn't even know what half those terms were then. You know what I mean? I just like loved music, and I was like, and I knew that so then this is where like my uncles came in. Like we had to be 16 at the time, 16, 15, 16, and I knew that my uncle has a recording studio, like built a recording studio.
I've seen you take some snaps there.
Yeah.
You do work on a lot of projects there?
Yeah, I go.
You
there.
finish there, master.
Exactly. Do a lot of my mastering there, but.
Did he teach you a lot about?
Yeah,
mastering?
so like I'll get there in 1 second.
Right,
like
cool.
I was texting him and I was like, you know, my uncle has this studio. Like we could just go talk. I could like
basically informational interview.
Yeah, I could hit him up. I was like I'll hit him up. Like I don't really know what for. I'll ask him if we can just kind of come there and like have him show us around.
I think maybe this could be a good lesson for people who are younger that don't know necessarily what they want to do, but like. It didn't hurt to pursue or find an opportunity that might be in the right direction.
Yeah. Like, you know, I mean, I don't know. Like, we had no idea. Like, you know, like, really.
Sure. You weren't thinking like, oh, this is going to advance me career-wise.
No. It wasn't ever even, I don't know if it was even a thought then. Like, that's weird to think about at the beginning like that. Like, truly the core beginning. I haven't in a while.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this show.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
We get to cement like your life in time.
Yeah, dude. So I just was texting him and I was like, let's go talk to my uncle, you know, let's just see like what he has to say, maybe we can get a microphone or something, you know,
yeah, right.
and start like
like best scenario, he gives us all of his equipment, full setup.
right. He's actually given me a lot of gear throughout the years. Seriously, like
Shout out to-
Mike.
shout out to
Shout out to
him.
Mike.
Mike.
Seriously, a lot. He's done so much for me. But
Can people like go to his studio and get his services?
yeah.
Do you want to shout out the
It's
studio?
West Chicago Recording. I don't you know come to me instead. You know that's if you
There
want
you go.
if you want to record there, you can hit me up.
Yeah, no, too.
I basically
we'll let you
know,
plug, too,
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
end.
That's how that would work either way. You know, so. But
where can someone find you now if they're listening?
Instagram, just or it would be good. My email, I have it all linked on my Instagram, my website. It's
There you go.
you know, CPR Music. The links on my Instagram, CPR Music, everything CPR Music _ some inactive Instagram account has CPR Music. Like it's been inactive for years.
If you get big enough, you could probably
Yeah,
get them to,
yeah. So we'll get there one day, but
you know.
but yeah. So I just like can't even. I wish Zach was here because he would have a lot to say, I'm sure. But we ended up just going and
What did
driving.
he say to you when you were there?
Like we were just my uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So you show up.
we were 16 or whatever. Like we took my mom's car. Like I just got my license.
Hell yeah.
Like just got my license, and we went and drove. It was in West Chicago. It's like the suburb of West Chicago. It was like still like a 40-minute drive from my house.
Wow. Yeah.
And we got there, and he just showed us the equipment, kind of how it works. We had Zach Brosi was like our only like artist at the time. Like he was our friend, and he made music, and we were like, okay, like we'll bring him here and record him. Can we can we come record here or whatever? And he ended up recording, like basically just like letting us showed us the ropes.
Like
really-
basically letting you trial by fire in his studio.
exactly like
That's holy shit. That's
like-
a crazy opportunity. to
yeah,
have.
yeah. It was like really, really insane. Like never ever could I thank him enough. Like still to this day.
So
like,
when you were done, would he listen to what you would do and give you critique?
yeah. I mean, or it was just more of like he really showed me. It got to the point where I was like, okay, I like this. I want to do audio engineering. I want to be an audio engineer. That was
Right.
kind of where my brain then shifted because that's what he did, audio engineering. So that's just
Sure.
that's just the recording, the recording process, mixing, mastering, not even really producing.
Yeah.
Just the guy at the table working Pro Tools
Right.
and the console and
Did he teach
Y-
you
you
like
know,
sufficient skills for
yeah.
that?
So that's really where I learned everything I know I learned from him. So like I didn't
Sick.
really
That's
in
so-
regards
so
in
lucky.
regards to processing, mixing and recording, like mic placement, like the bare essentials, like how to get a good quality recording in a room, how to balance a room,
Right.
where to put a mic in the room and why, and how sound works. He taught me how the sound waves, bounce off the wall behind me right now and reflect back to you, and
Right.
how that is going to cause these issues in certain scenarios. And you know what I mean? Like really kind of showed me the ropes, showed me his mixes,
Wow.
like what he did and why.
Would he listen to your mixes then? and
Well,
then be like-
everything was so basic then. Like I would record like, one guitar, Zach Brosi.
What does he think of your music now?
Well, I recently just put out the first ever, like my first real project under my own alias. Like,
Yeah. What are you waiting for?
what are you waiting for?
It's a
by
fucking
CPR.
great project.
It's fantastic. It's good for relaxing and
I
studying.
get a shit ton of Mish vibes.
Yes,
Ton
heavy
of
influence there.
FKJS
Yes,
vibes.
yes.
Tons of like just lo-fi chill vibes.
Yeah, I think he also like is very impressed with where I've come with it, because at that point
Yeah.
I wasn't playing any instruments. I still didn't play a single instrument. 16, 17, I didn't play an instrument.
Damn.
I learned how to record. Then we started recording with Trent, who we went to high school with. Trauma, shout out Trauma. I did like his first mixtape. Like we were like 16, 17, traumatized. We put it on SoundCloud. I recorded the whole thing at Zach's house, which then became the Treehouse space. And we built like a little recording studio in there. And then we ended up building like a legit recording studio in there. Like we put up another wall and a recording booth and like a window.
How did you? I want to for maybe young people that want to just do their own shit? Like, how did you guys afford to build this?
It was really like
Were you creative?
yes, it was like
resourceful?
really resourceful. Like
Okay.
I think that's also one of our strong suits.
Okay.
Zach especially like
Just all the time, be resourceful.
yes,
That's
yes,
some
like
advice to get out of
especially
this.
being from like I don't know like our smaller kind of town.
Yeah,
like,
just
like
a freaking suburb of the Midwest.
yeah,
Illinois.
you know, like I don't know, like you know someone who knows someone, and you
Right.
know from the Midwest, like you know, all you gotta do is ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, honestly, what are they gonna do? Say no? You know? Okay. You know? So, like we got a lot of opportunities of people who helped us out. Like Zach's dad's friend was a carpenter, and you know, we ended up working and same the things that we bought, we bought all the lumber for the walls.
Got it.
And
Yeah,
like,
that's smart to get that.
you
made.
know, because you know we bought the
The
lumber for the
skeleton,
walls, and
pretty
yeah,
much.
and then we framed the whole studio ourselves
Wow.
with some help from his name is Terry. He helped us and we basically put up the drywall and did everything, and
How long was the construction process?
it was like the first whole year really of us really trying to do it. You know, we were like, we're gonna build this studio and do this, and it still wasn't even like a career at that point. We're
Why,
like, this'll
why
be
did you guys name it Treehouse?
there's like we went through like a bunch of different names. Like it just ended up like there's
Could I hear one of the other names?
I couldn't even tell you, dude.
Yeah. You don't even remember, you're
No
like-
way, dude. Like I couldn't even tell you. But like you know, we were talking about it a lot, and there's a treehouse in my backyard. It's like truly the OG treehouse, and we were gonna originally put the studio inside the treehouse
Whoa.
in my backyard because like we didn't really have like a space.
How many square feet was that
It's
gonna
so
be?
small.
Yeah.
It's so fucking small. Like it's so small.
10 by 10
It's so
studio.
small. Yeah, it was so unrealistic.
Huge
So,
mixing lab.
so we were just like, okay, well, probably scratch that, and I think the name kind of stuck, you know, for that and some other reasons. So, you know, and that was cool. So then we started calling this like upstairs space at Zach's house, the treehouse. It was kind of like separated from their house, like above their garage. Like
Yeah, like an addition.
it's like an addition. It was like like an addition. It really is its own space, and we were spending a lot of time up there. And
Bigger than some people's New York City apartments.
that's like a big studio apartment, basically. And then we put up one giant wall through the middle, and like a little, you know, door and a little booth inside the one half. And I got some acoustic like treatment for free because I was working this construction job, and we were remodeling. Some lady was like, I don't remember what we were doing. Some lady was throwing them out, and I took them. They were like these huge sound panels,
Whoa.
and we put them up in the booth. You know, now it's like sound treated. And Zach, we got the window. The window was like a super expensive window, and when Zach went to Menards to get the window or something, like they scanned it wrong or something. I don't remember what happened, or like you know, or he got two windows for the price of one or something because like.
You guys just made out well there.
Yeah, you know, and things like that kind of kept happening, like you know. So and we ended
It was
up,
meant to be. The
yeah,
project
like
was
we
meant
just
to
were
be
resourceful.
finished.
You know, we asked people for things if we needed them, and if we're like, okay, we need something. How can we get that? Where can we get that? You know,
That's awesome.
and I think it's still how we operate now, or how we should operate. You know, it's like you know,
Sure.
it kind of never changes in that way. You know, but yeah, we built the studio, and just Trent started coming through and recording. And
Yeah, so that's where I wanted to go next. I was
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
ask.
It was just really Trent, and then our friend Javanis Kane. He's like one of the coolest producers like I know ever, like no bap, like for real. Like he was the first person I ever knew that produced really, besides Zach's brother. Like he came to the studio and like booked a session with us. Like was like the first person ever, like we were so young. He gave us like you know $50 to come record a couple songs,
No way.
and like his first EP like Thrax, it's on SoundCloud. So I recorded that, mixed and mastered it. That was after Traumatized. You know, I was like 16,
Yep.
still 16, 17. And like the day that we met him, we were going to like Western Illinois like that night. Me and Zach,
Okay.
like just like whatever, go party or whatever.
Get into some shit.
This was the day we met Javanis, and we asked him if he wanted to come with, and he came with us.
No way.
The day we met him, and we spent the whole weekend with him, and he spent the whole weekend with us, and some crazy memories were made. It was wild, and It was crazy. And then we've been friends ever since. So, but him and Trent were the first people, and they make music a lot still together. And to really come through, and we were recording them and kind of creating this creative space, this creative vibe. And I was still just still didn't play an instrument. I was just mixing, mastering, learning my craft, like trying to get better at that, learning how to do it. And then Zach Brosi, and the Zach Brosi was always there as well, doing his stuff. We did Absent Mind, I think was the first project we did. Forest is the first song I ever recorded ever. Forest by Zach Brosi. It's on SoundCloud.
Forest.
It's
All
on
right.
SoundCloud.
You can still hear it today.
Yeah, it's on there.
Hell yeah.
It's
Shout
like,
out Zach
it's like
Rose.
that and like a couple other ones. They sound decent because they were recorded at West Chicago. And then we would like switch to our studio with like the bare bones equipment. You know
And
what I mean?
Could you hear the
there was
difference?
like there was like a quality loss there for sure, but the skills, you know what I mean? It didn't matter, but
You could compensate for it.
then I recorded, by the time I was then 17, I recorded Absent Mind for Zach Brosi, his first solo project, like all acoustic. And then
Tons of practitioner
yeah,
experience.
I did like
real world experience.
yeah, I did like 3 or 4 projects like as a really young, like 16, 17, like,
Damn.
and that was really good experience for me. And then Zach Brosi and my friend Ethan Mosley started a band called Sin and Bargo, and then they recorded their band's project with us. Obviously, it was like a conceptual album. It was like 13 tracks, Gray Days, and it was good. You know, it was honestly like one of the it was like one of the bigger projects I did, like the first big one. It doesn't.
Yeah, it was a long form project.
It doesn't sound very good. It's pretty mono, like.
Yeah.
You know, like the recording, but like, you know, I learned a lot doing that, and then working with the band. Obviously like I've been a fan of music. I've been going to concerts. I've always wanted to play the guitar. I never did. And then I was like, okay, well,
I kind of have some time now.
you know, like I've been focusing on this. Like maybe at some point, at this point, I was just like, maybe at some point, you know, I'd like to. There was no bass player in Sin and Bargo. Let me add that. It was 2 guitar players. My friend Zach played guitar and sang. Ethan played guitar, and then there was a drummer. Bryce was the drummer, and then he there was no bass player, you know. So I was just like, eventually, was like, you know,
slide into that
so
role.
what really happened then was like, I'm now 16, 17. I was still riding my bike a lot throughout all this, like competing still, and you know, shooting photos for the team and stuff like that. And then we went to this contest in Nebraska. I was like 18. I jumped this like super huge jump. Like I broke my leg, broke my tib fib, snapped my leg, like noodle. Like my leg was like a noodle.
Oh.
It was really messed up. Like it was really messed up. And it was like I had to
They
go.
have to put a screw in it or something?
It was like I was in Nebraska, so I was like far from home, like in the middle of nowhere, like.
Did you have to go to the ER?
Yeah, like I had to go to the ER immediately. Like, you know, they were like, "Do you need an ambulance?" I'm like, "No." Like they picked me up and threw me in my buddy's car and drove me to the hospital.
That's smart.
My leg
It's
is
so expensive.
My
for an
leg is
ambulance.
in half, literally. Like,
Oh.
it was like more down by the kind of like the ankle, like 5 or 6 maybe 4 inches, say 4 or 5 inches above my ankle, like tib and fib, like completely broken, like. Completely broken.
What did the doctor say?
So like the EMTs at the event or whatever like splinted it, and for like the transport, but like it's like, you know, like it's like limped. It's like, it's like limp, like, you know. And
Oh
like,
my gosh.
And
They have you on pain pills yet?
yeah, they shot me up with morphine right when I got there. They put me in the IV like as soon as I was.
Yeah, you're like,
yeah,
oh,
I was in a
shit.
lot of pain though, like a lot.
Holy
Yeah, like
shit,
a
I'm
lot.
so
It
sorry.
sucked.
That's-
It sucked really bad. But so
How
then
long were you out of commission?
So what happened is they had to get me home. They were like, "Do you want to?" They're like, "You can do surgery here, and then be stuck in Nebraska for like another week, you know." Or they're like, "We can do our best, give you medicine, and try to transport. Like you can try to get transported home, or you can get surgery at home." And I was like, "Okay, well, fuck this. Like I'm going. I'd like to go home. Like so." Luckily, we like the team, like we part of the team, like drove in an RV, so there was a bed in the back. So like they picked me up in the RV from the hospital, and put me in the back. I was like all hopped up on hydros and whatever, like in
You're
the
just
back.
rolling down the highway.
Yeah, like super messed up, in a ton of
Holy
pain
cow!
for like whatever 6-7 hour drive it was.
What an interesting memory to have.
Yeah, dude, it sucked really bad. And
Drop you off right at the hospital.
No, dude. So they took me home because.
Oh my gosh!
well,
You had to wait.
So listen, but because there's formalities, like the
Sure.
fucking U.S. Health Department or whatever.
Right.
I had to go home. I hadn't seen my parents yet. It was late. We got home at like 3:00 in the morning.
Okay, got it.
I was going to the doctor the next morning. Obviously.
Got it.
I go. They get me home. On the couch, posted up. My leg is broken. It's been a day and a half now. My leg is still broken in half. And we go to the doctor. We went to the ER immediately. The ER. Like, not that didn't make an appointment.
Right.
Like, we went to the ER. Like, they took me to the ER. And I will never forget this. Like, the lady, they were like, taking their time. Like, I'm sitting there in a wheelchair. My leg is fucking broken, Chad. Like, the lady's
You're
like,
in so much pain.
the lady's like, asking for the information, asking me these formal questions,
taking her sweet time.
needing my weight, my height. I literally, like, I snapped at the lady. I was like, my leg is broken in half. I'm like, do you understand? And my mom had to be like, okay, like, please relax. Like, I was about to freak out at this lady. Like, I was like, do you not understand the severity? I was like almost crying. Like, my leg hurts so bad. I was like, my leg's in half. I'm like, I need surgery.
Right.
Like, now. Like, are you stupid? Like, like, I was so
Did
mad.
they get you in right away?
So mad. But no, like, I had to sit and wait until they called my name still. And they got me in and assessed or whatever. And then they said that I had to make an appointment with an orthopedic doctor before then he could schedule my surgery. So then I had to get another appointment with a different doctor, which then was like the next day or something, just to tell me then that I couldn't get surgery till the following Friday. So it was like 3 or 4 more days.
Wow.
My leg was in half, broken.
Did they have a cast on it? Or
No, soft cast, like it was the most uncomfortable I've ever been in my life, for sure. Like, I was on my couch, couldn't walk. Like, if my leg was like this, like, if I moved it down, like, I could feel it.
Do you think
like,
it was a sign that you were going to
move.
switch to your second, like, your
was
two
interesting.
passions
It was
of biking
interesting.
and music? Like,
It's
do you
interesting.
think
Like,
it was...
I never thought that I would go pro, like, BMX. Like, I'm not that good. Like,
Right.
I wasn't that good.
Yeah.
But, like, I understood that there was a way to make a career out of doing it.
Yeah, like, exactly, the photography
Like,
and
not
all
that you would
shit.
make a bunch of money, or like that I could
but you
I
could
could
live that life.
Yes, exactly, per se. Like, I could live that life if I wanted to, and I was wanting to, because and I still do, you
Yeah.
know, but, like, it's not my career,
Right.
It's my hobby and what I do for fun. So, but
But
yeah.
distinguishing that is important young, because it will allow you to progress further.
Yeah, exactly. So my leg is broken. I'm laying in my bed, contemplating my life. Not my bed. I'm laying on the couch.
And you have the guitars hanging up there.
Yeah. It was, well, my parents got divorced when I was super young, so I was actually at my mom's house for that period of time. But like, just waiting, thinking, am I ever gonna be able? Like, is my leg gonna work again? My toes are all messed up. I can barely feel my toes. I got surgery. I ended up on my couch for like almost a week with my broken leg. Like, and then I got the surgery on a Friday, and they drilled a hole from the top of my knee, basically, all the way down to my ankle. The whole inside of my tib or fib.
Holy cow.
Whatever one's bigger. I don't know which one. The whole thing. There's a rod from my knee to my ankle.
You're metal.
Down-
You go off at the airport.
The whole.
Don't-
I'm sure they look at the X-ray or whatever, and they see.
they're
and
like,
they're probably,
oh, this poor bastard.
I've never gotten a hard time at the airport. So then there's a big rod from my knee to my ankle, and 2 screws in my knee, and then 2 screws.
Do you feel it?
2 screws. Yes.
How does this affect you daily?
Do
you have a limp a little bit? Does it hurt to run? What's the
it's,
extent?
Like there's like.
Wait, how old were you? Because our
I was-
bodies are still developing.
Yeah, I was like
18
then. I was like 18, so I was like right when all that music stuff was happening. I was writing a lot, doing.
Do you have to ever go back to the
music stuff.
therapist to like check up on that rod?
So I did physical therapy for like a good. I couldn't. I was in a boot. I couldn't walk for like for like 8 months. Like, I was in a boot for like 6 months almost. Like, and
I
then
remember that.
in
period of
crutches.
time,
I was in
yeah.
crutches for like 5 months. Like, and then in a boot for like 2 more months or whatever. And like I just spent a lot of time, doing nothing, and it was it was
can't do much.
yeah, it was at that time that I started playing music. Like,
Beautiful.
I picked up a bass, and I started playing bass, because I wanted to, and I didn't really pick it up super heavily, and I was just still able to obviously work on some stuff from my house or whatever. I wasn't doing a lot, and then it got better, and that was when there was a shift. Like, I was like, okay, like, I think, I'm going to pursue music. Like, I made that choice. I was still in high school.
Were you scared at first that you were?
Oh,
gonna
no, it
do
wasn't in
this?
high school. No, it wasn't. I graduated high school, and then I broke my leg. And I broke my leg the weekend I was supposed to start college.
Wow.
The weekend of, like, the following, I was supposed to come home on Saturday from the contest, and then school started on Monday.
Were you nervous at
And
first?
I was
to
registered.
take that step.
I just didn't, I don't know. That's like a whole nother thing then, which we can get to in a second. Like, I broke my leg. My leg was broken. I was bedridden. Like, so I had to withdraw from that semester. Like, I was like, I can't. I'm like, I wasn't even able to use my crutches at that point.
Right.
Like, I was like, I'm stuck in my bed for a couple weeks.
And at this point in time, we didn't have the same Zoom interface setup that we have.
No,
now,
it was like, it felt impossible even to be able to achieve school at all. So I didn't do that first year. So the first year that everyone graduated that summer and then everyone went back to school, like, I didn't. I just was stuck in my bed. So
perfect opportunity to practice, though.
Interesting. Gave me a lot of perspective on everything. I was, I had the question still. Will I be able to ride my bike again? Will I be able to
Wow, you're just laying there every day.
Will I be able to do the things that I like to do? At that point, I rode motorcycles. I rode dirt bikes. I did a lot of that.
I'm sure there were hard days, like mentally.
Super tough days.
Damn.
Super.
How did you get through with it? Like,
days.
what are some tips would you give someone to get through? Like,
I was
facing that
I'm
mental
surrounded by a
adversity?
lot of good people. I had my friends came over and visited me and hung out with me like a lot, like
Yeah.
a good amount. Yeah,
You
like,
found like people that could
like
be
a,
there for you.
Yeah, like a lot of like, really, people came and visited me all the time. Like, people knew I was stuck in my house. I remember there was at one point where it was like 2 or 3 whole days went by, and I realized that I did not go downstairs once. And it was like whoa. Like,
But you just lose track of time up
well,
there.
the bathroom was right next to my room, and I couldn't, and I only had to go to the bathroom if I had to take a shit, like, because like I had a cup to pee in when I was in the
bed.
yeah, because it was like it was a lot easier, like,
Yeah.
for like a good like couple weeks, like, and then like to take a shower, like, I had to sit in a chair in the shower
Oh my
and like
gosh.
wash myself with a cup.
I feel like that would make me be like, I'm gonna be a lot more careful.
It
when
was
I'm
really,
riding.
really like, whoa, I was never really scared of
You only
hurting
have one
myself.
body.
I was never really scared of hurting myself, and I did take bigger risks for sure. And like, it was like, whoa, like, holy crap, Like,
Do you think you had enough training at the time to take the jump you did when you did it?
Yeah, I did. It was a number of. I wasn't that I didn't have the skill. It was.
Like, if you go back and analyze it, you're like, I could have prevented this.
I shouldn't have jumped it. It was like a freestyle motocross ramp, like that they jump like
Holy shit!
like
the
on
big-
dirt
the
bikes,
big
like that
one.
they do on dirt bikes, like the metal ones.
Yeah.
It was like one of those, and I had actually jumped the same jump like the year prior, and I think maybe even the year before that. So like I jumped the jump before.
Yeah.
And I think they actually pushed it in so it was closer. The following year, the year that I broke my leg.
No way.
And I just dropped in, and I was going too slow. I don't know if there wasn't enough air in my tires, or there probably wasn't enough air in my tires, and I was cranked out. It was one of those things where it's like you have to go as fast as you can. You have to go as fast as you can. If you think you're going as fast as you can, you need to take 5 more pedals because you're not going fast enough. Like, it was like one of those things, which I wasn't unfamiliar with. Like,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
So,
That's something you'd face before.
so like I just was like, cool, like let's get it. And I knew I was going too slow, and I barely hesitated, and I went off the lip, and I was like, yeah, like I'm not gonna make it. Like, And I didn't know how it was gonna go.
What did you do to brace yourself?
I landed like on the backside of the jump, and I really couldn't even tell you how it happened. But then I took a step. I got up and took a step, and then my leg like collapsed under me, and I was like, whoa, whoa, like whoa, yeah,
This is intense.
yeah. It was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy.
Really cool.
So
So yeah, let's go back to you're now in bed. You're learning to play the bass.
Yes. So it was like my friends were visiting me a lot, keeping my spirits up, like just helping me out, and I started playing. My friend Anthony and Nick, they're the two guys that I play I play heavier music. They're in a punk band called Burn Effect,
Cool.
and we jam a lot. I play a lot of like punk, like heavier stuff with them, and
That's sick.
they came over to my house with instruments. I remember that specifically, and like jammed along with me. It was like the first time ever. I was like still in my bed, like playing with the bass on my lap, like just teaching me like, I don't know, we played something so simple. And then I eventually got better, and got to ride my bike again, and that was really cool for me. Like
Yeah, very healthy mentally.
the bike riding was like what grounded me. Still grounds me. It's like what I do to clear my head, like.
Sick.
Really important, like for me to like
Be out and on a bike.
yeah, or like snowboard, or then I started riding mountain bikes, like which is what you said, like way earlier. My dad got into riding mountain bikes, so then naturally I was like, okay, let's ride mountain bikes, because I rode BMX.
I want to go. You have to take
Yeah,
me
it's
some
so fun,
time.
so
I'm
fun.
ready to get into
It's
it.
so fun, and that was easier on my leg. It's way
Nice.
easier on my leg
Because
like,
a lot of it's downhill, right?
yeah, it's downhill. There's suspension. I could still get like super buck, like like super gnarly, like
Right.
and do like
The adrenaline rush.
yeah, I can still
there.
do some pretty heavy lines, like
Right. If you do like is it kind of like snowboarding? There's like level of trails.
yeah. It's when you go to certain places. Yeah, it's just like it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same as that, like black
Where
screens.
do you do that around
blue.
here?
Oh, there's really not that many places around here. There's Palos Hills. There's the Sawiki in Oswego.
Yeah, I've
It's
heard
like
about that.
that's like where I ride primarily. It's pretty tight and technical, but there's a lot of like up and downs and like berms and rocks and roots and stuff, and it's
Nice.
fun to ride there. Like that's where I ride primarily. And then there's like a Andre's bike park somewhere. It's like somewhere.
Okay. So yeah, there's
There's
places.
not a lot to mountain bike here, but we've gone out west. My dad has taken me out west a few times. Like I've gone out west quite a few throughout all my growing up. Like I snowboarded. My mom took me to Colorado for snowboarding.
Would you ever want to go out that way? You think?
Yeah, actually, me and Carly, my girlfriend, were planning on moving it to
Nice.
Pacific Northwest. Like,
Okay. Nice. You're going up to like Oregon.
Yeah,
and that?
Oregon, Washington, Seattle. Like, there's a lot
Yeah.
going on up there musically too right now
Cool.
for us. Like, and I think that's going to be a really good move for us. So we're planning on heading that way at the end of this following summer coming up or whatever. So,
Wow.
and I'm excited for that.
Congrats.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
Trying to get a change. I've been here for a while, and so. But anyways, my leg was broken. I started playing music, and then I got better, and like the band, there was like, I don't even remember, honestly. It's weird what was going on musically there. Like we were just trying to record more.
At this point you're in sin embargo now, right?
Yeah, kind of. It was like I would go to their band practices. Like I would just go because they were my friends, like as
Yeah.
well, and then yeah, like I started I guess I just started jamming with them. Like I had this really shitty bass at my house that like didn't really work. Like it's like from the '60s. It's like
Wow.
it's like a short neck Fender Music Master. I think my dad stole it from his high school or something. But it's like been painted over.
That's sick.
It's like super old and crappy. It didn't work very well. I rebuilt it. Like I put new pickups in it and
Wow.
new strings and tuning heads and like was getting into like the
Yeah,
modding.
you took the time
yeah,
on.
and like I did a bunch of cool stuff to it, and then was playing that with them, getting better. Still recording a lot. Like I don't even remember. Like working on more stuff with Zach Brosi, trying to expand. And I wasn't going to school.
Why
or I was going to
why
school.
did you not have a project of your own recorded by this point yet?
Because I still wasn't producing.
Mm.
Well, I mean, I guess I just when I just started producing, like it was more of like I was just audio engineering. Like I guess you could say I was executive producing some of
Sure.
the projects for my friends, having a lot of input on what was happening musically. you know, like this could sound cool, this, you know what I mean, blah blah blah, and really working with them personally on these projects. So I did feel the connection
Right.
to all the stuff that I was putting out, and obviously I was mixing it, spending a lot of time with it, so it was very fulfilling. Like I felt like, okay,
And
cool.
it's a lot of skills you were
It's
learning.
there's a lot going on. I was taking on. It's very overwhelming to think about even now. Like
I think that's kind of cool that you waited before you were like, all right, I feel like I'm at the point now
I
where I want.
really gave myself a fundamental foundation
Yeah.
of music,
100%.
understanding music, how it's recorded, why it's recorded, how it works, why it works. I still don't know a lot of theory in regards to playing,
Sure.
you know, but I'm learning, you know, but like yeah, dude. I don't know.
What was the influence for creating your project under CPR, like doing that?
I listened to a lot of the lo-fi stuff. Like I started listening to a lot of lo-fi music. Like I love beats. Like I always listen to beats. I
Yes.
just love beats. I love The Alchemist. Like my whole life I've listened to more of the production
For sure.
behind the music. Like I love
Like that fine ear of yours.
love
like
some
tuning
drums.
in.
Like I love the guitar. Like I love music. You know. So like I just always was so much more. I wasn't like I don't have a very good voice. I can't sing. I'm not very good at writing lyrics.
Sure.
You know. So like I just never.
You don't feel as genuine as when you get to produce and create the art,
It's very organic and like
being behind the instruments.
and yeah and like natural.
So did you record every instrument on all of the tracks?
There's like no samples on What Are You Waiting For? Yeah, it's like all.
You're serious?
It's
Really?
like all me playing instruments in my room: keys, piano, bass, and like
Drum
drums. The
pad.
drum pad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those are samples. The drum sounds, but like
That's
obviously
awesome.
like I do like the
Yeah, but you cut it. all.
I do the finger drumming and like so it was all really organic. Like I think that it's interesting.
What's the reason for the name?
So I went through a lot of different names. I wanted to. I really was asking myself that question a lot. You know,
Hmm.
like I think there's a lot going on in the world. You know, and there's a lot of shitty stuff happening.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
you ask yourself. You know what I mean?
What are you here for? Yeah.
Yeah. What are you waiting for? Like, I don't know. Like I don't think it's very cliche. Like, I think a lot of people sit around and they're fucking waiting for something to happen, and like it's not gonna happen unless you you know
I love that.
unless you do it.
It's
like,
so it's a very genuine sentiment to the actual song itself.
yeah, dude. Like I really feel like a lot of people like. I hate when people say I can't. I hate when people say I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Like it's like.
I actually don't even think it's worth talking about those kind of people.
No, literally. Like
So, I mean, sorry, I'm back.
yes.
No, Ethan's
I'm
back. He's
sorry.
jumping back in.
I've been
Busy man.
running crazy, but yeah, no, those kind of people, I just would not even spend my time. Not because I don't have respect for them as a person, but
You have to
more-
surround yourself with like-minded
Yeah,
individuals.
absolutely.
100%.
You have to if you want to especially if you want to go far with
achieve what you want to
if
do.
you especially if you want to do it with what I'm doing or
With-
especially you know there's like especially like you know just taking an alternative route. You know what I mean? I think I would like to just say that like not doing what everyone else is doing. Like you
Follow your
know,
own path.
Yeah.
Your path you can make happen. A lot of people don't realize that getting to your path and the thing you want to get to is these really small and incremental steps.
It's like it's a
So
process.
it-
like
it-
it's
it
I'm
not
gonna go
takes
get some
time.
more coffee
Yeah,
real quick.
yeah.
Do you need anything?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Alright,
I'm good.
You guys can keep talking.
Yeah, it's not. It's like literally, what are you waiting for? Like I just was so like, and I was at a time like musically where I was like, it was deep in the COVID stuff was happening.
Yeah.
And I was like, just like, I don't know, man. Like I wanted to do something for myself, you know, and I wanted to start my career really.
right.
Like, and I knew that I had like to do more branding of myself. And
What kind of different things did you use when you were branding with yourself now? Like, so like during the COVID time, were you like just your natural like
I
warm
just was-
market, or were you
yeah,
using different social media?
I just was
platforms?
like I really wasn't posting a lot, and
Okay.
I am like so now it's like the alias I chose like CPR, like
Right.
that's me,
Yeah,
that's
for
who I
sure.
produce under, like that's like
so like those are like things you can make. Can you give like samples out like to promo kind of stuff, but not give the whole song?
yes, like so like I it was interesting because I knew my skills, like I was aware of my skills
Yeah.
at the time, and I was like I'm not going to put something out that is subpar. Like I won't do it. Like so I honestly was almost like a gearing up. Like I hadn't done anything.
Was there intention to the release date?
Honestly, no. Like I sat
That's
in my room and I was like, I'm going to make a project
And I'll release it
and
once
I'll
it's
release
ready.
it. I was like, it's I've done this process now. 10, like a lot. I've done this process a lot. I've never done it for myself. I never had to bounce off it.
Is that like? Was it like an experience you were excited for?
Yes, I've been waiting. I've been like again. I've been waiting. I've been waiting to do that. Like I've been waiting years. I wasn't ready. I could have.
And that's good that
I
you know
could've.
that, because I think a lot of people
could've.
sometimes will jump into those things too early.
I could have put
And
out a
you
beat
knowing
tape.
yourself, you have to know yourself and be true to yourself.
I could have put out a beat tape at 17, 18. I could have,
Sure.
I could have done it. Like it wouldn't have sounded good.
Yeah.
Like, and I know that that's part of the process, but it's like if you really look at my career as a whole, like that's the first thing I've now put out, and it's a substantial piece of work.
Right. It's not like
it's
oh,
a very
there's one
it's,
good one.
It's
on
a very
that,
substantial body of work.
Right.
What's your favorite track on
Yeah.
it?
I
I know I have mine, and Ethan's is Nick's interlude.
Is it really?
I think so.
My
I gotta listen to it again. I'm pretty sure. but I
Carly,
also like
Carly
Elsa.
loves that one too.
I also it's on my
I
my
wanted
tops.
it to go longer.
I'm
Yeah.
I was mad.
I play a lot at Nick's house. Like that's like who I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I do a lot of musical stuff there. Like a lot.
You have a lot of creative energies
yeah,
in
like,
that
like,
space.
I spend a lot of time there, and I pull a lot of juice from those guys, and that's him playing the rhythm part. He's a really good rhythm guitar player. Like and I was just doing like the diddly leads, and I remember like I just wanted him to be involved.
Was that Nick or Zach?
That was Nick playing the guitar.
Oh, sick.
And then like the lead part, if you will, is me.
Yeah.
And we were just fucking around. That was a voice memo on my phone.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like I was just like, because he didn't want to forget the progression, and of course we forgot it. It's like you listen to it, and he's like, I don't know what I'm playing. Like that happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
But it's like, so I was just like, I'm just gonna put it on there because I think it would be a good way to break up.
Is there a way to track like what you guys are playing with the system? Or but you're only recording. You weren't like hooked up.
No, yeah, that was like just my phone on the table. Like
Oh,
like I was
okay.
sitting with an acoustic guitar and he was sitting there with an acoustic guitar, and that was the whole voice memo. Like, and so
That's sick.
it worked out well.
My personal favorite's Somewhere New.
Can I ask why?
There's something about like I like turning that one on and driving in the car, like the
Yes.
vibes.
Yeah.
And then when you do the production thing where you like sort of bring the sound into
Yeah,
a
like
shell,
the-
and then it
yeah,
comes out, and then
yeah.
you just have those riffs of the guitar.
Yeah.
That section was so fucking well done. I just love the flow of it and how you produced it out, and just really the through line that you created
Yeah, it was
through
pretty-
that one.
Yes,
I
at one point I thought that track specifically was a little too busy. Like it felt like there was a lot going on because like I do like 3 or 4 lead guitar tracks, and like they're all like they overlap each other. Like it's kind of hard to notice sometimes because like when I'm doing lead guitar like tracking, I'll just do like one all the way through the song, and then mute it, and then do like 3 or 4 of those takes.
Sure.
And then I listen through each one, and I literally take out the ones I don't like and keep the ones that I like, and then I'll keep all 3 or 4 of the tracks and stereo pan them, and then just kind of overlap the guitars.
It just sounds.
So it's like if you listen to that song specifically, there's a lot of that going on in that one, like of things kind of overlapping, the tail end going in at the beginning of another one, kind of from like somewhere else. And like at one point, like I thought it was too much, like I really did. And
Sure. No, I think it's well done.
but I'm really glad that you like that one a lot. They've all grown on me more as I've listened.
Did I ask you what your favorite was?
I think I was getting to it right now. I think it's Dim the Lights.
Dim the Lights.
I used a sample of like Ethan, it's Ethan or Zach. We were in Phoenix just doing like musical stuff. And it was like him like on a table like doing a tech deck is the beginning of that song. And
Wow.
I really like the
See, and I think with the music you were listening to the other day, Chad, I think like music can be that more cultural, creative. I feel like everyone puts like it has to be a certain tone, like a certain.
Oh, you're
beat.
talking about the mainstream, and
I try
how
to
it has
I try to
fit.
avoid
Like,
I try to avoid that. Like I don't mean to be like that guy.
Right.
But
No,
like
I
as
respect
far
it.
as far as I've ever like been a fan of music, it's like I love it till it gets to that level, and then like I don't. Like it's weird because like obviously my goal as an artist is to probably get on that level.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Like
to get noticed.
in regards, but like some of the like radio play, like radio edits,
See, I think
radio production, I don't
It's
want to do
become
it.
too similar.
I don't.
It's
There's a formula.
There's a
It's an
formula.
industry, and there's a formula. When you
Yeah.
get that high up.
Yeah. So why don't you build something new?
Yeah,
Like that's where I
right,
see like
yeah.
I think you should go with like I see like more of like a nature vibe. Like, you know,
Yes.
bringing people together. That is your culture. And be the new creator.
Yes, like
But, you know, figure out a plan
that
to
goes
break something.
Yes, that goes a lot with like that. What you just said is a lot of like what Treehouse is, the Treehouse Studios thing. Like,
Okay.
so like we created. I got a burp. More
Oh, you're
so
good.
a collective, like a collective of people that feel like that. You know what I mean? That help each other out and that like.
Is it full? Is everyone in Treehouse devoted 100% to this with no other job?
It's like I would say that like I do music part time. It's hard for me to say that like I do music full time because it doesn't always pay my bills. Like
Yeah.
like I
Right.
do other things to try to make money. And like when I move, I'm probably just gonna have to get a job somewhere part time and do music part time. It's enough to where like, you know, I can make some money, but like in regards to really the Treehouse, like if I'm truly telling you, it's me and Zach. It's me and Zach. You know what I mean? It's
Well, see, and that's good. As long as you guys can understand that this is what you want to do.
yeah.
I would say instead of waiting and having to do that part-time job, like figure out a model to create something new.
Yes,
In which
yes.
then you can get
and
someone to invest in you.
monetize. It's like that's
Yeah.
I mean, that was where I was at with the
That's where your
branding. Like what I was
brand is.
yes, that's what I was saying to you
Yes,
earlier.
yeah.
So like I kind of have been
So being creative.
I've been
very
trying
creative.
to gear up,
Yeah, okay.
kind of create an inventory of these things for
So you could
for
just-
myself, so that I can just start monetizing.
Yeah.
So like, in addition to like just making beats, like everywhere I can make money right now is like you can buy a beat from me, you could book studio time,
Nice.
you
Sick.
could pay me just to mix your music.
There
You could
go.
you could pay me
Yeah.
to you can send me your stems. I can mix it. We don't even have to talk to each other
Sick.
or meet. You know, you can send me your stuff. You can record it at home and send it to me. You know, and I'll mix. You can. I said book studio time. I make clothes. So I've been trying to
Building
do.
your brand.
I've been trying to build my brand more with like some fashion oriented things like doing these cut and sew pieces like
Hell yeah.
in my basement that I've been working on, and like I do photography so I can sell prints. You know, I can get those mounted or whatever and do edits and then I have sample packs. So I play guitar and I play keys. So I've been recording samples that other producers then I can sell as like a pack.
Yeah.
And then other producers can use that and buy it. It's pretty popular right now. Like the Count, he makes these drum packs that are like
Yeah.
they're so fire. It's like Monte Booker is about to come out with a drum kit. You know, he's like a super popular producer, and everyone is gonna buy it. Like
Yeah, he's gonna make good.
yeah,
video
yeah.
on
It's like
that.
you know, it's like I'm not doing like the Twitch streaming or anything because like I'm not really set up for that yet.
Sure.
But it's like, you know, I'm
But I
gonna-
can see that the implementation.
I'm
is
working.
there.
I'm working on. You know, I'm getting a new logo made up. I'm getting
Sick.
some graphic stuff done from my guy, Daniel Cuomo Designs. Shout out Danny if you need any graphic work. But you know, so I'm working on my brand. I'm trying to get these videos done for that single I played you. You know, and I'm trying to have this stuff where then I can just be like, okay,
Yeah, you guys haven't even heard. He played so much exclusive
You want
stuff
to
that
just
sounds so good.
Put a lot out.
I'm
there at
I
once.
it's like I'm not when
You-
I'm
you
doing
have
it
to at
when
some
I'm
point
doing it
backlog
when
a
I'm
lot of
doing it I'm
content.
doing it, and that's what I'm telling you. Like so
Yeah.
when I move is when I'm doing it. So I'm kind of giving myself
You're
this,
prepping yourself
this next
for it.
10 months to
Great.
prep so that when I move I have an entire recording studio's worth of gear in my bedroom, you know, that I use, you know, and then we have still some gear over at the treehouse, you know, any of the stuff that's not mine that's over there is like, you know, at some point gonna have to get cleaned out when we all move, you know,
Right.
and it's like when I move, I will set up my personal business as me, freelance.
Great.
Also, not necessarily just treehouse, but freelance audio engineering,
Exactly.
producing this and that. Come record with me. Come do your stuff with me, you know. And then I'm geared up. You know, I'm ready for that to do that.
How long do you? Like, what was your time?
I have like 9. I think like 9 months. We're planning on moving like 9-10 months. But it's like I currently don't really work. Like I really don't. Like there's like I have no money. Like I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest.
you're
like,
just producing.
like
right?
like
You're
I have like
But you're
I'm,
you
I'm,
use
I'm,
that time productively.
I'm in it.
though.
I'm in it now. Like I'm trying to get enough in my savings account, obviously, so I can move. like, and I'm getting there. Like, I have money in my savings account, but it's like my checking
But when
account.
you, I think you're saying work, you mean like a job that's formal. You're working
you're
every day.
working.
I work every day. I work all day,
And
every
see, the
day. You
thing
don't
is-
get it twisted. Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wake up, I go to my desk and I'm working every single
Hell
day.
yeah.
Yes,
Good,
yes,
good.
absolutely.
No, you're working your ass off.
Yes,
and you're
yes,
doing
yes.
it.
That's
It's
what
fine.
we
The
should
things
get
you're
across.
doing
Yes.
are in your field, so you're at least
Yes,
practicing
yes.
within that, and developing it and paying something.
In regards to, so, and right now I'm not paying rent. I live with my dad. You know.
Hey,
so-
don't, dude. That's not bad.
So I'm good.
Use
So I'm,
your parents.
exactly.
Be smarter. People are scared.
Exactly.
They want to be this image for people.
I
It's
don't.
so no need
no,
to
You know
be.
what I'm saying?
I
Like
know.
they want this
Yeah.
expensive car.
I don't.
They
Yeah,
can't
I drive.
afford.
This is what I'm saying. I don't have a car payment. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
And
I
that's
have
the
not.
thing. People just get
I
around
hate that. I hate
I want
that.
to hear about let's hear about you. Dive in.
Yes.
Where do you see your potential? Where do you see the areas in which you lack? What kind of team do you plan to build in order to do this? How would you do that? Are you going to find guys out there to move? Are you having Zach come and manage, and you guys are going to be, like really where is the direction heading, or has that been instilled?
It's like so like I talk to Zach obviously every day, and a lot of the things that we do coexist career wise. Like and I think like our move, it's come down to this for me. I personally need clients. I need clients at some point or another. It's such
Can
like
you
a,
go to like a bigger studio and ask them if
I could get it. I could get an internship. I could get an internship at a bigger studio. I could do that.
Don't do that.
No,
Just start a fucking
yeah,
YouTube
you
channel.
Start,
then.
or you can start
that's
your own.
true.
You can start your own. You know what I'm saying, and build
Right.
yourself that way. The credibility then is there. If you get a job, it's like it's interesting. There's me specifically. There's you know too. There's
Yeah.
there's so many.
Or do you grow as a brand really right now?
Right.
That's what I
right.
think
These
you-
are the questions I'm asking myself, daily right now. Like,
I have a book I need to give you. You're
it's-
gonna
I
read
think the
it.
branding's where it's at.
And that's kind of-
look.
it's
I think,
kind
to
of-
be honest, I really think I'm gonna start doing I've never been on TikTok or any of that. I don't know that, but I already know I could gain a following easily.
I made it. I try not
have
to use
to.
TikTok. I
No,
have a
you
TikTok.
have
There's
to.
Dude, but you
there's-
have to.
I
Now.
have a
Give it-
TikTok.
I give up. I'm just
Exactly.
gonna hire people.
That was my point.
Record the videos
That was my
for
point
me.
with the social stuff. It's like
Yeah.
I'm able to focus. I'm aware of what needs to happen. I know.
Dude, it's crazy
It's-
right now.
it's-
It's like my life.
Yes.
Too. It's like we've got.
You get it.
This-
You get it.
I
you
have
know.
a contract right now that if we score it right and if we present it right, it's a
Game over.
It's a game over.
Yeah, dude.
I
and it's like
mean,
it's okay. So
it's
it's a
crazy.
similar thing. I'm obviously in a little bit of a different field, and it's kind of
Right,
I'm
sure.
kind of just playing this game right now,
Yeah,
and
But you're doing it
and
right.
I'm working hard, and I'm getting my skills up, and I'm trying, and I'm working every day.
No, your diversification of revenue sources is
Yeah,
smart.
yeah. The one thing that my uncle told me very early on is if you want to do this nowadays, you need to pull money from.
Everywhere.
You need to be pulling
And
different. It's like
Don't
I
be
need
afraid to
it's like,
give people free value.
Yeah, it's like for me right now, it's like I would like to be at a goal where I can create like just passive income. Like I just want to create enough passive
That's about
income
it. That's why
If
I
you
had
have
to
all
a
pay my
YouTube
rent. To
let's
pay my
say-
No,
rent.
that's why
If
when
I
I was starting out, I had all my
Literally.
different things. I would do any service to make money because I didn't care, and I knew that's why now with building my company,
Right.
I'm forward on building the team of what's true of a business. I
Right.
did what I had to do in those times
Right.
to build me up because I had families.
It would
I
be
was
so
supporting and stuff.
interesting to see
You
if you
know?
had a YouTube channel and once a week I can go on there and you're teaching me tips of how to mix or do this
exactly,
Yes,
Because
exactly.
if you give me that
exactly.
free value, I'm going to tell
It's-
my mom and dad I'm 10 years old, Mom, Dad, Cole will mix and master my work. Can I
Right.
go work with him
It's
because
like,
I saw your free
Hey,
value?
just build that. There's so many kids out there right now. They're going through. They're staying at home. I mean, still,
Literally.
kids are being depressed.
Oh,
Build
I-
a vision for them right now. You know, be a mentor, and a
yes,
leader in
yes,
the
and
world.
again though, but then everything that I said, it coexists with the treehouse stuff. Like it really goes back to that. It's like
It's that human touch.
I wish Zach was here because like he would have a lot to say because like he he raps for fun and he makes beats for fun and but like in regards to like a career thing, like he is more of like on a management A&R like
Is he your brand businessman?
in regards to the treehouse stuff, like I do most of the work musically, you know what I mean, and he's doing a lot of like
He does
he's
networking,
really good at talking.
arrangements.
He's really good at talking.
He
to
is a
people.
really good networker.
Yeah, he's
that's his
really,
master skill.
He's really good at talking to people. Like it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter. Like, and that's what he's very good at. So like in regards to treehouse, it's been that, but like there has to be a line then between like me focusing on the careers, the treehouse stuff, and CPR brand.
Yeah, you
this
gotta
is
de-
me
you gotta decide
creating
and
creating
define.
my own opportunities for myself, and with that is most important. the treehouse stuff, it trickles up. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like I
As you build your brand, the Treehouse brand will grow.
yes, because it's a part of
Yeah.
it. So it's like right now,
What
an
areas do you
ecosystem.
think where do you see music really trending to? Like, what about Texas? What do you think about Texas?
I think that in regards to like you just mean like location.
Yeah, just like
I
in
think, like-
general, just or do you see the migration of
I
people
think
going to
I
Texas?
think
Do you think there's potential in there in the music? I mean, of course there's gonna be potential.
there's
but do you
huge.
think-
It's like
where do you see yourself? I
it-
guess
it-
I'm asking that question. 'Cause I
you
plan to
could
go out there.
you could break it down this way, man. There's like a lot. There's a lot. I could tell you the map, and what musically things are known for. It's like
See, does that really depend?
it's
on
a
the
real
music
thing.
You're in?
It's a it's a real thing. It's a real
Wow,
thing. Like
yeah,
you know what I
see,
mean.
I
It's
didn't
a
know that.
if you're in hip hop, you're gonna want to be in Chicago, New York, Atlanta, or LA. You know what I mean? Like you've centralized yourself to one of those. It's almost
So
guaranteed.
is that why you see so many?
It's almost guaranteed. You play country music, you play rock music,
Nashville,
you centralize yourself to Nashville, Houston, Dallas,
Georgia.
still Georgia, Atlanta, they overlap, NorCal, the Bay Area, huge for indie
Wow.
music,
Yeah.
like all that stuff. Like
That's so cool.
then then you get to Seattle, that's also huge. There's
Grunge scene.
Mosey's from
Huge
Seattle, grunge scene. A lot of the hip hop stuff is coming out from Seattle now. There's a lot of stuff happening Pacific Northwest, so in regards to me, that's kind of
what's the best for your career?
that's where I'm shifting, and Zach too. It's like hopefully everyone's going to be relocated West Coast, northern West Coast, and that's kind of where it's looking for us then as a company, as a brand, where we're really basing ourselves from.
Sure.
It's like because we never really. We've been kind of gearing up to make that jump this whole time because it's like Zach goes to school in Phoenix. We were gonna centralize to Phoenix. We were scoping out the culture, the scene. It was looking good, and like there's an untapped. I think
So you guys are taking it completely serious.
yeah,
to
yeah,
go.
yeah, absolutely. There's we have been since high school. That's what I'd like to say. And people didn't really start to understand that, I think, so right now. We've never taken it any less serious. Like it's not a phase. It never was a phase.
right.
Like
That's
this is
sick.
what we've been doing.
Yeah.
This is what I made a choice to do it, and I'm not dipping my toe in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
like,
fully
I've committed to doing this, and at this
And
point,
that's the
at this
difference
point, I'm
between
not going to
someone who will
school.
hear this and is in your shoes and won't succeed, and
Yeah.
someone who hears this in your shoes and does succeed.
Yeah,
Right. When
you know,
put it out there in the world, you're gonna do it.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like-
It's I've given myself no other option at this point because it's what I want for
Good.
myself, and it's what will happen as I create it for myself.
Great,
I've surrounded myself with, like-minded individuals. Zach is really focused right now too, on the same page, and it's like, if we can re-centralize ourselves, and we've been like this. You know what I'm saying? Every experience,
You've gone out there,
every
you've
single
scoped out the
experience.
scene.
Zach is also one of the only other people that I've met that does that. Everywhere we go, every experience I've had, every concert I've been to, every VIP lounge I've worked my way into, every right place at the right time scenario I've been at, I'm listening and I'm watching and I'm taking notes. I heard what you said, but I didn't say anything back. But
Right.
but now I see how you move. You know what I'm saying? And
Observation's key.
yeah, and it's like me and Zach. Well, we'll be in the same place, doing work, doing business, meeting some new artists, some new people, and we can. It's funny. It's like they'll say something, and it'll kind of hit me like,
See, I think that's the same in the business world.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not understanding it maybe on that level because it's a whole different
Right,
industry.
right.
But you could tell that completely
yes.
with people.
So it's like I'll look
at
at Zach. I'll look at Zach, and he'll look at me and we'll be like, yeah, like, okay, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Right.
but you never will. You know what I mean?
You're not going to disrespect
No,
them.
no.
It's
And
just-
I don't think you should burn bridges in the music
Oh,
industry either.
no, you
It's
should
just
never.
like,
You never
it's
know.
easy
No
to
need to.
do. It's really
Super
easy to
important.
do. It's
Yep.
like, but
Always take the high ground. It will help you out.
yeah. But I like everybody. I do. Like like sure I can be really. If you don't like me, you don't like me. Fuck you. Like I don't care. Like really. And if I don't like what's happening, like I'm
There's
not.
just no time for
I'm
that.
not, no zero
He
time.
doesn't-
Zero time.
keep
Zero time.
going.
Yeah. So like I just like if you don't like me, that's okay. But I'm not I'm not gonna be mean to you like unless I have a reason to. Like I don't know. Like I would say maybe on the outside, people don't think I'm as nice of a guy at first, You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because
Yeah,
maybe
I
I'm a
think
little
that just with
blunt. You know what I
everybody.
mean? But it's
Dude.
like I don't have time. If you make it through and we're homies then, and
I think
and
that's also our generation.
yeah,
too.
and I got
think
you.
we-
We're on the same
literally
page.
everyone in
I
our
am-
generation has some amount of ADHD.
Yeah.
I feel
It's
like,
like-
we're
100%.
all hyperwired.
Yeah. So it's like,
Reminds me.
yeah, like I just like trying to, you know,
Center your energies.
Dude,
Yes.
I just
Creatively,
get so
professionally.
stressed. So like my biggest hindrance is like during my days, I do so much. You know, like it's crazy. So I get to a point of where like I haven't talked to someone all day, and I'll come at it with a mean energy, you know, or an attitude. And I didn't directly mean that to that person. They just, and I get everyone has their problems, but the amount of things from the time I mean, I stay up for 2 days straight half the time, you know, so it gets hard, and then I'll like lash out. But I think I've really started to open that up and kind of recognize that.
Yes.
So it's not.
That's what's
and
so
the thing, you have to
important
be
is-
vulnerable and
yes,
recognize it,
yes.
'cause as soon as you recognize that kind of thing, you know, you can
You
just
have
keep
to
going.
acknowledge
it's
yourself.
it's self-awareness, like really being
100%.
tapped into yourself, and that's like
I've been reading Buddhism recently
Yes,
a lot.
yes.
And the Four Noble Truths on the path to
Uh-huh.
Buddhism is figuring out your internal suffering.
right.
And that is it. That is it. Like the essence of internal suffering, whether that means you're suffering because you're depressed and alone and sad, or you're suffering because you're not making the career goals you want. But once you acknowledge that, you're on the step and path to changing it.
Yes, dude.
I would say honestly, this may sound weird, but everyone will get to know me because I'm just gonna post my life out there now. I don't. care.
You're on a
So-
podcast now. It's like you just
Yeah, literally.
you're allowed to say your opinions. If
This
people don't
is-
like them, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I
You'll
know,
click off if you don't want it.
it doesn't.
You'll click
It's
off.
fine. That's the one thing I've truly because I don't really even listen to a lot of podcasts. But
No,
it's like,
I like listening to like clips, you know, and then if you gain to like
Yes,
that person's
yes.
personality, you keep listening and
it
listening.
really
listening.
is. If
It's
you
cool,
if you
it's a
like
cool
if you
way.
like that person's opinions, their values, you know,
yeah.
you'll listen to them. You
When
know?
I listen to music, though, I tend to I listen to like slow or sad music
Yeah.
all day long. But I
Yeah.
love it because it keeps me focused and
Yes.
centered at the goal of what I want.
Mm.
And I'm very strong headed in my mind where I can convince myself that I'm working my ass off to reach that goal. And how I do that is because I don't sit around and act like it won't happen. I just all of a sudden, once you start to work, you get these little foots of success.
Tiny little
and success.
blips.
And, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and
exactly.
it keeps motivating.
Yes,
you. And you see,
yes.
okay, now if I keep working harder, something's paying off. But
Yes,
it's getting that
dude.
mindset completely turned opposite.
Yes.
And recognizing these things. I think I've been able to grow in a person, bro. I used to like always walk into a room, and I still do, and think, what are all these people thinking? And I try to like come up to conclusions. Like, it's just not possible. You can't do
It's
it.
a
It's
wa-
a
you
waste.
have
It's a
to turn
waste.
that
It's a
It's
waste of
my
time. It's a
Yeah,
waste of
I know.
time, bro.
And I've done it for so long.
Yeah.
And that's probably because I'm insecure in certain ways.
Right.
You
Well,
know?
everyone is though.
And yeah.
yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's very true. Do you ever think about when you're trying to make your music what someone's gonna feel or think from what you created, or are you only worrying about how you're
How it's
expressing?
inside. You're
I
the
think it's
artist.
really.
Is it just like stream of consciousness?
It's a really, really. It's that's a super good question. I think it's very much both for me.
Okay.
It's like
it just sort
what-
of depends.
What are you waiting for specifically? Was like it's a very intimate, personal. It is very significant to me personally. It's very personal. Like
See, but you're coming out with
Why?
making. You
Tell me-
still have.
wait, I want
wanna
the
know more.
exclusive.
it's just it's interesting, bro. Like could I tell you why no. Listen to my project.
All right.
That's how you know. I can tell you why. Do you understand what
Sure,
I'm saying?
yeah, I get what you're
I'm
saying.
able to communicate things that my thoughts and feelings are communicated.
Oh, is this something more, Chad? We should talk
yeah,
about thoughts and feelings. You may
Go
not
one
have-
go one deeper. Like seriously, think about this. Like the project. I knew that it would be subjective, and I knew that I wanted people to listen to it, and I wanted them to. I want them to.
It's super contemplative.
I want it to be exactly what you need it to be for you, you know? But at the same
like that.
exact time, I created something that was completely and solely for me. If that makes any sense
Do
at
you
all.
think we'll
I
ever
do.
come to a
It
point in
does.
our life in the future where we start communicating? I mean, far, but I believe we'll live to easily 100 now with the medicine that's out there.
Possible. I'm not going to argue that at all. Yeah,
It
absolutely.
could easily happen.
But
longer.
I'm saying, like, if it gets down like that long down the road, do you think eventually, like, we'll have things like the Elon Musk, you know, like the hyperlink, and you'll just communicate by like, could you understand music by emotion and like?
It's interesting,
would
bro.
that
You
be
know,
a
it's so
direct
it's weird.
connection
It's
or
weird.
something? 'Cause,
It's
like,
weird that you
think
say
of it,
that.
Someone. I would love to keep going on it, but someone told me, I can't remember who, but like something about like, you know, we've kind of learned our language just by a book, you know, and we've made that. So like, how do you
Yes.
really communicate?
My language, I speak I'm speaking to you
through the music.
It's a different language.
And
I
that
couldn't
might
tell
be
you. I couldn't
something-
tell you my
it's
thoughts.
the
I couldn't tell you.
waveforms gathering together
I
to
couldn't tell you.
produce conscious, inferior.
I listen to the project. If I listen to the project alone, like I could start crying. Like
Sure.
it means that much to me. Like
Great.
it's
And that's
that
good.
it's that important.
your
to me.
baby.
It's that good to me. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
that like
It's real. See, and that's the
Yes.
thing. I don't like artists that aren't real to themselves.
it's not. I
You-
mean,
you know, you can be good. I think even artists that can be good musically, that's great. But like, you're here. Like, I think you should be telling a story. You know, I think too many people try to sell and shape into this picture. This is you. You're the
I think
artist.
he's talking about the SoundCloud rappers trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to find that mold.
Right.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking. of
right,
directly in my
yes,
head.
yes. But no, it's
yeah.
interesting because it's like I said, like I try to. I really try to create something, and this is what if I'm like, you know, excuse me,
No,
if
you're
I'm DMing my project to people, you know, or I'm like, you know, self-promoting like on Instagram, I'll say at the end of my message, you know, like, you know, at the very least, like I hope that you when you listen to this, it's able to do something for your mental health today, you know, or I hope that you know that you listen to this and you fucking relax for maybe 2 minutes out of your day today. I hope that you can listen to this and you just you relax.
I can meditate to music.
Yeah.
To be honest, the
Yeah.
only way I can go to sleep, like I stay up till 3. Like last night,
Yeah, me
Jake
too.
woke up to go to work, and it was like 4 a.m. And that's right when I just went to bed. And it's just like, but I had to meditate. I was meditating for like 45 minutes, just because like my mind, after the crazy days I have, and it's crazy all the things that the accomplishments, which I would love to talk about. That's why I would love to share more always. But like it's just crazy. You know what I mean? Like to see the hard work actually pay off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then to realize, like, this is my life. I'm in control. It doesn't matter what anyone else thought of me.
Yes.
I know where I'm headed. And there's always going to be people there. Dude, I look at these huge companies, okay? Billion-dollar companies. The people in them.
Are jokes.
It's like
No,
it's
they're
like
not
it's
jokes.
not
You
like they're
gotta be
idiots. It's not like they're
human.
idiots, but it's like it's
No,
like
but you have
it's like
to
this
understand
yes.
innovation.
It's-
if we can speed processes up, there's always going to be that new. So why are you going to be the drag
For
behind?
me, it was really
Yes.
funny because like there was a point in which college, like a transition mentally that happened where everyone I saw, no matter their age, I saw them as just like another child or another version of me.
Right,
You know?
right,
And
right,
then once
right.
you break it down and boil it down, you could talk to anyone.
Yes.
Once you
I
lose
think
that.
I
Just
think
of it as like, okay, right? If we all just close our eyes right now, we're here. And we don't even know what we're gonna say next. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
Like
right.
it's that still that it's like why are you afraid? This is just another
yes,
moment of
I
you
think
being
that
lucky to
was what a
live.
lot of like the traveling in the early on, like hanging out with my bike friends, like a lot of my friends, they're a lot older than me. Like I've always hung out with older people. Like
I agree. I can
like-
only connect with older. I just don't
like
have
it,
to.
it just like I don't know. Like
And you
I,
absorb your
like as a child,
surroundings.
like I was able to sit at the table with all the adults and have a grown conversation.
Oh, I'm
with these people.
100%
You,
with
do you
you.
know do you know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
it's like it's just like we said, like it's just really helpful down the road to kind of get those things figured out early on. But you do encounter these people where it's almost like, how did you get here?
Right? Like,
Do you know what
so
I'm
many
saying?
People, like, even
Yes,
on,
like-
even on the road, you know, like people that flick you off, right?
Right.
They're so small in the world. Why does someone allow that anger to control them? It was
Right,
an
right.
accident. It's a mistake. We're
Right.
living all now in the present
Right.
moment.
The present moment, that's like a huge thing, like that
And
I
people- I
that
feel
I,
like
have to remind myself of a
People
lot.
look at everything. I don't look at the days. I really don't pay attention to
No,
the days.
what day is
I
it?
know what
You
my
know?
life is
Yeah.
and the next thing and next step I
Yeah.
have to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I try to make this timeline in my head, but I'm not ever directive because it goes. I build my
You
businesses
have to be
with
like
my passion
water.
and
You have to
myself.
flow.
Dude, it's like these signs lead you,
Dude.
and that's what I think people try to
gotta
ever
show you
plan their
Project
life to. Their life. Everyone
I
tries to
wanna hear
plan
it.
their life so
I do.
specific too, and you got to have general
That sounds
broad
lit.
things. But yeah, whatever.
So are you working on a project right now? What's happening moving forward for you?
Gee, man.
Do you have backlog? I'm sure you have.
So like I played you guys that single,
Yeah.
and like I kind of have been I don't want to say too much.
Yeah,
but,
sure. Yeah,
but,
whatever.
I don't know, man. There's like I said, I think you guys kind of have a better understanding now. I can go confidently. I could go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like in this music realm. Okay, and there's there's unlimited routes in regards to like niche, in regards to genre, in regards to people to work with. It's unlimited. It's just
Is collaboration next? Is
there's
that
some,
something you
there's
see
some
yourself
dude in a
doing?
basement, that barely speaks English, plugging in a bunch of fucking
Yeah, I know what you're
you know,
talking
making
about.
weird synth music.
Synth music.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, and people, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm at a point where it's, I am figuring out myself as an artist. I kind of have the CPR brand where I'm making these lo-fi jazzy beats. I'd like to infiltrate that community a little more. You know, get
Do
some.
you think you could like those things? I want in my digital content. Like, could you make some music? Like,
Dude, when you did the my intro thing on Instagram
Yeah.
and like my song
we
came
should have
up
played
during the
it
thing.
longer. I didn't realize, Chad.
Do
I
it
wish
do
we
it for
would've.
every episode, man.
Yeah.
Take the song, make it your. I'm serious.
it.
Make it your
Dude.
your podcast.
All right, you
song.
hear to hear. I have copyright permission, so
Yeah,
no one
I'll
can
give
go
you.
after me
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
Like,
Seriously,
I have the author's rights.
yeah,
I love
seriously.
it. I'm down.
Please,
with it.
please.
Let's
It's good
run
for
it.
you know.
It's good for the
shout me out
brand
every once in a while.
exposure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was like, that was nice. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, that could have been not my music, and I would have been like, that's pretty nice, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Feel free to use that song I sent you.
It was it was sick. It
as
was
the
great
intro,
to play
but
around
yeah.
with that.
So I'm really trying to. I'm still putting my fingers out. There's so much stuff I want to do. You know, like so much stuff I want to do.
We're
and
young too, and we have a lot of
it-
energy right
it's-
now.
What are those things you wanted to do?
It's like it's a matter of having almost in music. It's like I need to create the voice to do them. You know, like
What's your end goal? What's something in your mind that you're like, once I've done
Where do you
this,
see yourself?
So I guess it like I want to.
we want to get into your fantasies. We
Like
want to
you're-
see
like
what you
you're-
It's not a
envision.
fantasy.
What-
It's reality.
it's
No,
reality.
exactly.
Yeah,
There
it's
you go.
reality.
That's
No,
great.
but you
It's-
put that vision in your head.
I would like to. I will. I'd like to at some point. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. Like again, it could go many different ways. And one scenario I envision is it'd be cool to get maybe like a publishing deal early on now from a label like a major, which you can get fucked over. You know, that's its own thing, a different conversation. You know, that's a choice you have to make.
Good legal contracts.
It's a choice you have to make as an artist with then the royalties and things and making money on the back end and whatever, blah blah blah. But there's a freelance world of independent artists. I'm sure you hear, and then there's like a major.
I just think you grow your own.
There's a major. So it's the music industry. It's interesting. Grow myself and really just focus on I guess. Regardless, I'll be producing, executive producing. Honestly, a good route even to see it is that like if Treehouse can become a division of, that's how all the majors.
Like a subsidiary.
Bad Boy, Top Dog Entertainment, Dreamville Records, you know, is a division of Interscope, whether you want to believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? It's like that is their own brand, their own independent thing.
They parent the
J.
parent
Cole-
LLC.
Yeah,
you know
So it's like you know, I would like maybe for that to happen.
build your brand and then get it.
If it got to that point, then where I wouldn't have to worry about doing the stuff as much, and I could focus on my career as an artist as much.
Right, the books are handled by a corporate and that, but you still get that small.
Then I'm
label
I'm
feel.
making money still in that field, and I have all my other revenue streams coming in, and then eventually, obviously, I'd like to start investing when I have more money, and you know, owning property, things like that, blah blah blah. So it's like obviously I'm just not there yet. So, but like, I could do that's one route.
So what's like
one
a
route?
route? Like
One route.
Let's go
I could go
into
completely independent, make triple the money. It's just as possible. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? It's a matter of what happens to me.
It's that
within
flexibility.
the next 5
though,
years.
That's exciting.
With
Where
the-
do you see, like, if you were to go, like, so let's go down each one of those. If you were to go to independent, what kind of, like, setup could you do in order to...
So
get
here's
your
my
way to do
dream. I'll
that?
give you the dream. I'll give you just the dream scenario, and then imagine just a million different ways to get there.
Okay.
It's like I would like to have my own building somewhere substantial in a substantial city, Seattle,
Yes, great.
Portland, not LA, honestly.
Yeah, fuck
But-
LA
but,
right now. There's so much
And
going on
do you
there.
want a building as far as... Because I, think
I would
it's
like-
very
I would like-
important
I would-
to collaborate. Like, when
Here,
you're
I
in a
wanna
working
hear it.
environment...
I want a 3 or 4 story building, bigger space. I want the first floor to be an art gallery. I
Nice.
really, really want at some point when I'm kind of done with things, I'd like to curate art at a museum, at my own museum, something like that. Like get deep into that. But I would like to have a live like a concert space, gallery
Exhibition
hall.
Yeah,
Same-
multi-use.
Same thing. So I could throw like an art show and have a band playing at the same time. And then above that, the upstairs is my recording studio, is the Treehouse Studios or my freelance studio or my studio. And then, in a perfect world, I would fucking live above it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, is that or not? I don't really care. But I want my own space. I would like and that was kind of what we've been fighting for the treehouse thing. And for me, really, it's why it's been so difficult for me to start branding and doing it is because I haven't had my own space to work out of. I'm working out of my parents' house or Zach's parents' house.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's
Yeah.
at a point where it's like, how credible can you be when I'm like, meet me at my friend's parents' house to record
Exactly.
this, even though it's a professional,
Right.
No,
even
it's,
though
it's
it's
the
a
same
pri-
thing
I've
with
been
this
out
show.
there.
even though it's a
Yeah.
professional space.
Certain guests,
Yeah.
I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, we're definitely are going to them because they're not going to come to my basement.
Right. Exactly. So it's like, I've been battling that, and I in the short and long term, I want to have a space, and that space eventually is my source of income, where I'm centralizing most of my work out of.
Right.
And
And then
somewhere-
you might partner with other brands. You
and
might
some
do this and that.
collabs, this and that. It's always there.
It's like a passion project warehouse
Yeah,
for your
and then
creative
of course,
artistic.
like I'm an artist, so I can put out my own music. Hopefully I'm at some point making some revenue from streaming, from my YouTube videos, from music videos. Then that's a whole other realm of hopefully income. You know what I mean? And then once I'm grounded in my career, which right now, we're really working hard, I can then settle down and focus on other art ventures, like weird conceptual things, like photography projects, or I'd like to do like a
film.
film. I want to do scores really bad, or like even acting at some point. Like I'd love to be in a movie. Like I would love to do.
Where do you see the movies in the future? What is it looking like? What kind of digital content? Everything will be digital. So how do you see people setting apart or not becoming a thing like YouTube, where it's a free market and people can actually get specific and search to the exact thing they're looking for?
It's so funny. It's like already so much going there, right?
Oh,
Like you know what I mean.
it
It's
is.
like
So
you
it's
don't
reality.
if it's not something that you don't want to watch, you're not watching it at this point. And then it's also not being put in front of your face.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because of the algorithms.
Well, and
or
that's
whatever.
how times and people and generations
Right.
slow up and keep down. And
It's-
yada, yada.
it's
When do you
interesting.
see concerts coming back?
I think that in the UK, they're having like music festivals massless in Australia or whatever.
Hey, bro.
Hell yeah.
Like-
That's coming back.
like, are you- like,
That's
like-
3 years max, I would say.
But it's like, it'll come back. I don't know. I can't give you a timeline.
Yeah.
I can't. But I
Who
think
knows, to be honest.
I
But
think that like film is another interesting one. Completely different
Who
industry.
are your inspirations there?
Film?
Yeah.
Well,
What do you have favorites?
like. You want actors or like directors?
Maybe directors. I'm a Tarantino guy.
I love Tarantino movies. I really like Wes Anderson movies, and
Mm.
I like Martin Scorsese films.
Oh, they're
I watched
best.
Goodfellas with Carly last night.
Yes.
It was really good.
Fucking fantastic.
I like Robert Rodriguez films. I like you've seen Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels,
I
or the
have
movie
not.
Snatch.
I think I've heard of that one.
Like definitely like. Did you guys see The Lighthouse? I like.
Yes, that was
Okay,
fantastic.
yeah. I
I've never seen
really liked. I like that. I love stuff like that. I really also like
Old time, black
huge
and
David
white.
Lynch. I don't know if you guys like David
Oh, I
Lynch.
love David
I
Lynch.
like the weird conceptual.
I love Blue Velvet.
black
It's so
fucking screen for
great.
45 seconds. Like what is happening?
He is, yes.
Yes. Like
So did you watch
Right.
Twin Peaks?
yeah. Like my sister's really into
Yes.
that, and I've seen Twin Peaks and
Peaks is fucking great.
and
Season 3 was wild.
what is all this? Are these like shows?
yeah, Twin Peaks is a show that David Lynch did. It's kind of weird and out there.
Was it in the 80s or the 90s?
I think the 90s.
Yeah, I think it was in the 90s. David Lynch had this crime
I
drama.
literally have not watched TV.
Have you
I
seen
don't
Have you
think,
seen
for
Have you seen
anything.
Dune? Have you seen Dune, Chad?
Maybe.
nothing.
You've
That
never
sounds
seen
familiar.
Dune? They're remaking it with like Timothy Chalamet or whatever.
Really?
But Lynch didn't.
Is that the
Wait.
the one with fucking?
It looks like Star Wars, but it's not.
Okay, no. I don't.
But if you haven't seen the original Dune,
Check it out.
watch it today. If anyone else listening, if you haven't seen the original Dune,
Check it out now.
watch it today. It's so strange. But
if you have some wisdom and you had to give advice to someone that's younger than us or someone that's aspiring, what's your piece of wisdom you're gonna leave them?
That's a good question.
This current point in your life, because the show is about putting a timestamp on this version of you right now.
Right.
but we're always evolving.
I think that right now, and the conversations that I have with a lot of my friends, I think it's kind of the conversation we even had today. It's really, really, really important to like have a sense of self. have a sense of self. Like,
Right.
have your own thoughts and opinions, and that's fucking cool, man. It's cool to have your own thoughts and opinions. Like, don't go to the bar because everyone's going to the bar. Like, I don't know, like that.
Yes.
Like that shit's
Yes.
lame. That shit's lame to me. Like no disrespect. No disrespect
Straight.
to anybody that does that, but like it's just is like that's not what I want for myself. And I'm not going to do that. Like,
Right.
I think that there's a lot of people that are doing things like that because of almost like because of the culture of the TikTok trends, because of
Is TikTok really set trends? Like I've never looked at TikTok in like probably.
yeah,
Well,
dude,
well,
There's a lot of users. It's very influential place.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But either way, I think that there's a lot of people that are doing things for anything but themselves. They're doing it for the clout. They're doing it for someone else. It's like everyone's living in this like you know what I mean?
Disassociative
Yes,
sci-fi world
it's
where
like
your pacifier is your technology.
Yeah, it's like I think that put your phone down, go outside.
I literally don't go on social media unless
Take a
I'm
deep breath.
taking work.
It's
like
important.
work.
It's important. Social media is so important, especially if you're an artist and if you're someone
For
a creative
connectivity.
rather.
It changed the world.
Yeah,
for
yeah, and it is a tool that should be used accordingly and effectively.
Well said.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people, the wisdom I have to give out is just be yourself, and it's fucking cool to be yourself.
Double down on
and
being yourself.
Figure out what you personally
A
want.
lot of people need to disconnect with the world in order to
Yeah,
figure out what who
turn
they
turn
even
your
are.
turn your phone off and look in the mirror, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you do it long enough, some shit will happen.
Figure out what you want for
We're just animals. Literally, we're just running around this tiny little planet.
figure
Like,
out
we're
what
in
you
one
want for
state.
yourself, and don't make an excuse as to why you can't do it. Like, I hate that shit. Like,
to be honest, is it bad? Like, I get anxiety just like wasting my time. even
I get anxiety
talking
because
about
of all
kind
this
of stuff.
because of all this stuff I want to. Yeah, I feel you 100%. Like, it makes me anxious because it's like I'm
It's
ready.
just
Like,
so-
I'm
I
ready.
think it's like not even worth talking about.
Yeah, right. So,
Yeah.
surround yourself with like-minded people. Don't let like, I guess it's important to have like-minded peers, but also don't let people who maybe don't think the same as you.
And also,
you down.
I mean,
Yeah.
don't also just surround yourself with the people inside one city. I mean,
Yeah,
you could have a bomb go off right now, and it would be complete. You know what I'm saying? If we had an atomic bomb, there's certain areas you would never see anyone.
You
There's so
travel,
much of the world.
yeah,
Travel,
go, yeah,
exactly.
yeah. That's one thing too. Is when I did, I was so. There's people who never left Yorkville. Like, there's people who haven't left here.
Truly, yeah.
And it's like,
and
be
they've never
honest,
gotten
it's
out.
like you have
To
a
be
close.
honest, I haven't gone to many places.
You
Like,
have a
I
cl-
literally just work here. and
Yeah,
then-
you know what I'm saying. But like, in for whatever lack of a better term, like you have a closed. Your mind is closed off. It doesn't matter
100%.
if you've looked at pictures. Even
right.
like even me, like places I've never been. I'm closed off. I've been to Alaska. I've been to, Florida. I've been almost a lot of places in between. And it's really giving me a
You have
perspective.
to face some adversity. You
Yeah.
have to travel. You have
Yeah.
to become cultured.
This is like, I don't know. You're not stuck. You're not stuck here. No one's stuck anywhere. You're not.
Right.
You can do whatever you want. Like, you know what I
Whenever.
mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
So many,
do you know what I mean? Like, I don't mean to be so extreme, but it's like,
dude,
it's
that's what
like,
I'm saying, like, at
you
night,
could, you could.
love being alive at night. 'cause
Yeah.
I'm like, everyone's asleep. This
You
is
could-
my-
you could-
like, what?
I hate to say it. It's like, but you could, you could kill someone. It's like, you think you could kill Chad right now if you, it's possible.
could.
You could.
Right.
No, you would never, ever, 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 ever,
Yeah,
ever
but you
do
could
that.
do.
But it's like,
But you could
as
control
as
your life.
in the
Yeah.
real physical, you're capable of doing anything that you can think
really
of.
are.
It's
You're
a
right.
very
Yes,
visceral
at a very
thought.
literal in a
Yes.
very literal sense. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
You
And
are.
it's for that reason that
Yeah.
I hate excuses. Like,
Yep.
Well, no, people just, dude. Imagine, oh,
that's like,
this
I
is
know
a
that was
topic I can't
such an
talk
extreme,
on.
such an
I'm
extreme
sorry.
example.
No, that's
but
great.
like-
I
but
love
like-
that.
But
No,
really,
it's
though,
so real though.
but
Like,
really,
that's how I
though,
think all the time.
with a grain of salt, put that
yeah,
put that
I
on a
think- I
minute
think-
level and apply it to your life daily. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
I just think of that too
love
hard.
this.
Like, I think
Yeah.
I apply it way too much.
Well, there's
I'm just like so in my moment. I don't know.
That's the thing of growing, though.
for
is
better or worse, the one
moderation.
thing that I think Rick Rubin said it. One of the two ways to be successful is either really absorb what's going on around you, take it in, or completely fucking ignore it. completely ignore it, close it completely off, and
Well, see, and
and
you
live in
gotta
your
know
own.
what to you gotta know what to not listen to.
I've been
too.
saying
I
that
think
thing to
it's
everyone too as
Yeah.
well.
I think it's important to educate yourself in some regards, but like being specific, and then know like when you're maybe not culture yourself, so you in that specific thing you're interested in, so you know when someone's telling you bullshit or not. You know.
Right.
So like there's ways
that
of being
theory
smart.
that you were talking about there. I say it in a slightly different way. It's the idea of practitioner versus the theorist.
Right.
The
Right.
theorist will sit down and study it till they can do it perfectly.
How could you ever know until you do it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or
it's
the
like,
practitioner will go out in the field and learn it.
right.
But both
it's
will
lear-
learn it.
Right.
Both will learn it.
But
One just
dude,
became an introvert.
You
One became.
you start to get into the philosophy stuff. That was the one I only went to Abanzi for like 2 years and basically like failed out because I was so focused on music, and my grades were slipping bad. But I did take one philosophy class and it was really cool. And there was like, that reminded me of, there's like the allegory of the cave or something. I'd have to Google it and look it up, but it was like,
Oh yes, the people stay in the cave,
And they see-
one escapes and sees light.
Yes.
and then he comes back and tries to tell them, guys, we can leave, and they're terrified.
Because there was like they look at like there's another one where they're like looking at their shadows or something. And it was
Correct.
like
Yeah, no,
talking about like what was reality is like they only lived within their shadow or something, just something so.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Whoa,
He
man.
said, I went out, I've seen the light, everything we know is fake. And they
Yes,
said, no, we
right.
just stay in the cave and follow the shadows.
Right. It's like
And then it's that allegorical
That is
it's the
cruel.
allegorical
Yeah, that's
concept.
like weird.
We're
Yes.
living in that right now.
The
Are
allegory of
you
the
gonna
cave, yeah.
are you gonna be stuck in the cave, aka the phone, social
Yes,
media,
yes.
or
Oh my
are
God,
you gonna
people are
step away from the
consumed.
cave and live your life?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
I think
that's
that is
what
what to
it
take away
is.
from this whole conversation.
Wow,
yeah.
that's
I think
a
that's
fucking-
the biggest thing.
full circle.
was
That is the
lit.
biggest thing.
Yeah.
That was
So now what do we
great.
talk about?
I had a really important question musically.
Yeah.
Instruments and blending and layering and all that's so important.
Yeah,
What's
I
your
like I like the
inspiration?
technical questions because
Yeah.
I have no one to talk about like the
No,
technical
I love
stuff.
hearing this stuff
So,
too. This
I
is
have-
my interest as a
yeah,
musician
yeah,
of what
yeah.
I like to know.
Yeah.
What's your inspiration right now sound wise? Is there a beat pad? Is there a synth? What are you exploring with? What's inspiring you sonically
Is there
before
something
you've
you
actually
include
turned
in
it into
every-
music? Do you get what
So
I'm saying? Like, are there instruments right
There's a
now that you're
lot.
like, fuck, I need this, or I've messed with this one and it's like my love right now, or this sound
it's
bang?
interesting. It's like there's so that's an endless world too, like into the sounds and that and this and that. Like I played you guys some beats earlier, but like I've been oh man. In regards to what, man?
Like in your studio, what are you
just
fucking
mean
around
like,
with the most?
like instruments
Yeah.
wise? Like I have
Instrument
I
or
play,
obviously
like
drum
wh-
machine wise,
Whenever
or
I,
synth wise.
whenever I'm making beats, like I try to include organic elements. Like Carly called me one day and she's like, "There's a keyboard at Goodwill. It's $5." I'm like, it's probably a piece of shit. I'm like, I'll go check it out. I went to Goodwill. It was like a Yamaha PSR. It's a piece of shit. It's $5. And I bought it and I dusted it off. It's a 1/4-inch guitar output on the back on the jack.
No way.
I
So
have
you could plug it in.
I have a power supply for it. It plugs in line. I'm like, awesome, great for recording. Just wanted to see, push the buttons on the sounds on it. It's awesome. There's like 100
That's
presets on it.
sick.
They're awesome. I got the keyboard for $5. All the keys in my project are from the PSR.
Even the
Every sound, all
like
that.
all
Yeah,
those,
there are
yeah.
different presets on my keyboard. I got that keyboard for $5 at Goodwill. So it's like,
Do you even use a pedal or anything?
no, dude.
I love
That's
yeah.
what I was trying
Yeah,
to get out. That's such a cool story.
I googled
That is awesome.
I googled it. It's like
Oh, yeah.
I googled how much it's worth. It's like $60 new.
Still.
It's like from the 80s. It's like a 1987 Yamaha PSR keyboard.
Shit.
Like worth like $60. I got it for $5. And it's like, so
You're
I've been,
really thrifty.
yeah, like resourceful. Like
Very resourceful.
Yes.
always have been. It's like people don't understand. It's like
You have to be.
yeah. So
I love it. It's a humanistic touch.
yes,
Hey.
yes. So I have but I just try to use my instruments. So I have I play a Fender Jazzmaster American Professional Series, but I try to play my guitar on everything. I've been doing weird tones. I do a lot of reverse guitar.
How much time are you practicing a week?
I practice. It was so funny because I downloaded some like guitar, I don't really read tabs. I don't really
Right.
do guitar tabs. And I don't read sheet music either. I kind of just like, it's all like a creative. I just write my own played.
You're literally self-taught to the
yeah.
extent where you have learned how to produce sounds on those instruments that are healthy, good,
Yes.
and
I
then
know
you
I know
just
what
put
key
those
I know,
together.
I know what key I'm playing in. You know what I'm saying? I know my way around. Like,
So you've taught you.
Yeah.
You've
There's no
you
right
puzzled
way.
together.
no, there's no
something.
right way to. There's
We're
no
in
right
a
way to do
world.
it.
There are
Yeah.
so
You-
many
you-
musicians that are
yeah.
famous right now that don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
They just
And
are good at writing
yeah,
lyrics
it's-
and singing.
So it's all relative. But anyways, I downloaded this like Tab app, and it was like for people that were learning to play, and it was like how many hours. It was like set a practice goal for how many hours do you want to practice a week, and it was like one was like 5-10 minutes, one was like 2 hours, and then the biggest one on there was 3 hours. I was like, I play 3 hours a day, like sometimes. Like,
That's
Yeah.
fucking
like
awesome.
like
That's
I,
awesome.
I as far as like a weekly practice,
You practice more than some musicians that say they're musicians.
I go and jam like every day, if not every other day. I play for probably 2 hours, probably in total.
awesome.
Probably every day, honestly.
Making something new
Yeah.
or playing something old
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
So like, and then in regards to that, like your question before, I've been doing a lot. I go through kind of like phases with like the types of beats I'm making. Like I make some house beats sometimes. Like I make tons of different types of beats. But like I played you earlier. I've been making a lot of like the boom bap. Like love that. So I've been chopping up samples a lot recently and like putting the samples onto my beat pad and like playing the sample as an instrument
That's sick.
and like then just trying to throw some guitar stuff on top of it. And I really like man, I really like organic. I like organic sounds, and then I do like the Juno synth, like 80s synths vibes, but like
I gotta culture myself more.
Those
Uh,
80 sample units, man, and like what they were doing with MIDI technology at that time
Yeah, I
was
use a
fucking
lot-
so cool.
I use a lot of like that modeled like a lot of like drum machines modeled sounds like
like
from-
the TR-808.
yeah, like yes, exactly. And
Huh.
like oh yeah, dude. The Roland
Oh,
stuff.
the Roland
yeah,
series.
I'd like to buy. I don't have a synthesizer, but like I had you
Are
know,
you
like,
getting into?
I
do you
had, like-
want to get into the programming.
I had a
scenes?
VST for a while.
Nice.
I cracked it. I'm not gonna say which one it is, but I don't have it anymore because I cracked it. It doesn't work. But
I have some cracks.
yeah,
that
I
doesn't
got
work like that.
I got like pretty decently like I got a decent understanding of synthesis, at least like single oscillator, like not that many voices. Like
Yeah,
I was
something
I was
that's
understanding
controllable.
yeah, how to create my own sounds and stuff, and then so I'd like to do more of that.
For people
as
who
well.
don't know, or Ethan maybe, like a Stranger Things, how it sounds super sci-fi, all the music.
Yeah.
Those are
I
just
don't even know what Stranger Things is.
Stranger Things is a Netflix TV show, but
Okay.
what they're doing is there's pretty much walls of electronic boards, and they put together chip units and processing units to create different weird sounds.
It's pretty crazy. It's like
and then you can connect different ones and,
And-
do
yeah,
all sorts
yeah.
of different varieties to make entirely new sounds.
it's insane.
That's
So
crazy.
people craft just sounds for a living.
Yes, literally, exactly. That's
Wow.
one little niche of it.
one
Is like
job.
is the creation of sound, like of creating your own patches and
You can make
sounds.
sound in
Because you have
so
to think
many
about it.
ways.
Before the 80s, before synthesizers, before that, no one had the capability of producing tons of different sounds. Everything sounded
That's how electronic music
bands.
got
That's why
started.
bands were so important.
I mean,
Bands
what do you think electronic music is? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I see. I just know that like these are all things I want to venture later in life.
You gotta have,
Like,
you gotta have
I'm
more.
in
You
a-
gotta have more music people on here.
You're the first one,
Yeah,
actually. This
yeah,
is
that's
exciting.
what I'm saying.
Also, you're the first. We never really made this apparent at the beginning, but you're the first person to be our Gen Z feature ever on the show.
Yeah.
What
that's
is
true.
Gen Z?
Gen Z,
What
we are
is?
an
I feel like it has a
interesting-
negative connotation.
No,
Gen
because we're
Z.
not. We're a Gen.
People don't know.
I
it.
feel
We're
like
not
I feel
even-
like I think
we're gonna be
I
like the
I think
old parents.
I think of like a someone not my age.
We're already
but
old
like,
because Gen Alpha is under us.
which is what? Which is who? Which is-
2010.
I know,
Anybody
who
born
knows?
after 2010 is Gen Alpha.
So you still got.
Because they're the first generation fully born after the 2000s.
But it's like there's no way, dude. You can even like the kids even
they're so different than
they're
us.
even 1 year below us.
Yeah.
There's,
Yeah,
there's,
of
like,
course.
There's,
It's-
but then
there's
you
so
keep
much
going,
variety.
It's just because the world's been moving so quickly. It's like those
There's
kids.
a generation every year.
Yeah, it's like instead of it being kind of like that
Or
type
every
of thing,
2
it's been
years.
like
Yeah, they do
boom,
like decades.
Boom. It's like the kids now are just act so different.
And what if
dude.
we said that innovation?
You could
was
not
even
say that
still
even
so
now.
small?
I mean, we're not that old. You know, I'm 20, 21 years old. I'll be 22
Yeah.
soon. It's like you cannot say that an 8th grader now is even remotely close to how any of us acted in 8th grade.
No,
Oh,
and it's
hell
because they're the
That's
first
not
fully
that.
tech
I mean,
generation.
yeah, it's not. You know, that was like what 10, 11 years ago. I mean, not crazy long ago. Like,
It's all these stimulants we have in our life.
so that's what I'm saying. There's kids like smoking vapes and dab pens like in 7th and 8th grade. Do you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Dude,
those
so bad.
or like even it's like
so
those kids
bad.
are still Gen Z or what? You know what I'm saying?
They're
Maybe
Some of
they're
them
called-
are,
It's just,
yeah.
it's just, yeah. That's like,
Some of
I
them
just, it's
are.
hard for me to make that
It's
that difference. Like I think of Gen Z, and I think of kind of like younger kids.
I do.
And again,
too.
I've always,
2010, that's Gen Alpha now.
Right. I've always hung out with like older kids as well. So, it's just like
Gen Alpha.
it's
is
weird.
just
like-
don't-
I've never
honestly-
used the term, so it's hard.
Gen Alpha is
I've never used
13
it,
and
yeah.
14 right now.
Wow.
They are 13 and 14-year-olds.
Wow.
I really don't. I honestly.
So then,
only-
what's the capstone for the Gen Z?
Gen-
24-year-olds.
Yeah, like the high. I think the oldest would be.
I mean, we're really close to the top
Everything-
cap there.
the top cat. Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We're old for Gen Z. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
That's the thing is we are old now.
Yeah. In regards to Gen
In
Z.
regards to when the birth rates, in regards to the next millennia of youngins,
Right.
we are now becoming aged out, which is really exciting. But it's an opportunity because there are so many people our age that I think are so confused and lost. And
Yeah,
we
I
do
mean,
a lot of
yeah,
interviews with
that's what that-
adults, a lot of professionals, but there's such a need right now for people to hear from people like
Yes,
us.
yes.
Our
That
age.
you
No
can,
one
that you
acknowledges it,
can
yeah, I
do
guess.
it. Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
And
that
that's
was
that's
another
the perspective.
that
where
was
it
another
comes from.
huge thing with the project. Like what's like the times are so strange now. Like
Really?
so weird. Like you know, just unpredictable. And I wanted to put something out concrete that people can rely on or people can listen to and
Sure.
it can motivate them or you know,
It's
help
got
them.
a deeper sentiment. I love
It
that.
really does, but if you don't want it to, it doesn't have to.
Right.
And that's okay too. You know, really.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm thinking we're gonna wrap it up here. We're getting right around 3 hours. This has
Sounds
been an
good.
amazing show. Do you? I want to give you a chance to plug anything. Plug whatever you want right now.
Gee, man, just plug myself.
Yeah.
Just plug
Maybe.
myself.
What do you? Where can people find you?
CPR
Where can they
music
find your
everywhere.
music?
Go at my music's Apple, Spotify, everywhere. CPR. What are you waiting for?
We'll have to get you back. I want to hear more tunes. I
Yeah.
definitely think I would like to get some theme songs from even for the year.
And but
my
that's
own
another thing too.
personal
It's like
thing.
you know, if people need if you need anything sonically, if you have a brand and you need an intro song, if you're making a commercial and you need music behind it, if you're doing an ad, if you're making a short film, anything in
Yeah.
regards to sound, like please,
Hit
like,
us line.
yeah, hit me up. Like, don't hesitate. I can create anything you need, anything, any genre. Like I don't know. Like I'm
Right. You're
flexible.
just good at what you do.
I'm
and that's
the,
what makes it
I'm,
cool.
I'm, and I'm here to do it, you know. And I think
Fuck yeah.
that's been the hardest part is I haven't been doing it as much, you know, other than just myself. So,
Yeah.
Fuck
Wow.
yeah, bro.
but, yeah.
Cool. Thank you everyone for
Thank
listening.
you.
This has been an awesome episode. Make sure to follow us and check us out on social media at A Humanistic Perspective Podcast. And have a good day. Peace.